Welcome back, everybody. I've managed to find my way back into an analyst box, and we are back for the second series tonight of the week 3 of the VCS. We've got the 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗹𝗶 taking on GAM. And tell us all about it, lads.
Hello, welcome back to finally a real series, hopefully, as I expect this to be a very good one, especially if you look at the top side of the map with the two best top laners so far facing off against each other. This is the most hyped matchup I can imagine right now in the VCS, and I just want to see it play out with some cool counter picks. Can we see a Jax? Can we see maybe Heroic? Who knows?
Yeah, can we see anything? Yeah. I mean, chances are we'll probably see a Wukong and a Renekton.
Yeah.
But which still potential
that's
carry
still
champions.
A lot of fun.
There's still potential to carry of both of those. So in terms of a pure individual matchup, this is a very exciting one to look at. 𝗬𝗂𝗧 versus 𝗧𝗲.
It's one of the
But unfortunately, it's paired with the rest of the map, which is a bit more.
But let's still just stay zoomed in on the top side just for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we do have some stats for 𝗬𝗂𝗧. He has been very good. I think we're still giving him the title of best top laner. 𝗧𝗲 has not taken it yet. Let's have a chat about these 𝗬𝗂𝗧 stats.
So yeah, 𝗬𝗂𝗧 so far has just been very all around good. Like his laning is insane. He gets solo kills in almost every lane. If you look at his stats, kill participation is pretty low, but that makes sense in a solo queue-esque team like GAM. They like to play very loose. They like to play through all lanes, so no big team fights. So kill participation for a top laner on his island will always be a little bit lower. His CS per minute is very high for a top laner, actually. Top laners usually go down to 7 and sometimes even 6.5 and stuff, especially from behind. So we can definitely see he's a very lane-dominant player. His KD is not looking super great, but, you know, that's more on the team than on 𝗬𝗂𝗧. And I think the laning phase will be the most interesting one, because I feel like 𝗬𝗂𝗧 and 𝗧𝗲, especially in laning phase, stand out as the two best laning top laners in the league.
Yeah, but both of these players definitely play for the lane, and 𝗧𝗲 gets around and does a bit more in terms of team fighting because that's what his team really needs from him. Because, as mentioned before, they tend to sort of struggle as individuals, besides maybe Hin, and on occasion, 𝗬𝗏𝗔 and Froggy do pop off. Style we've yet to really see show up, but they do rely quite a lot on 𝗧𝗲 to bring their team team fighting down for them. Meanwhile, on GAM, as you've said, it's a solo queue sort of game. So 𝗬𝗂𝗧, he's finding all the resources he can for himself, and then he's going top lane and he's trying to win through that. Whereas the rest of the team is just sort of trying to win through it. It's solo queue, right? You group up for team fights when you have to, but even when they sort of fall apart as a team, 𝗬𝗂𝗧 is generally saving the light in the darkness, and hasn't really been able to pull it out for his team. But when they fall behind, but he still looks good. He's like trying his best. He's struggling against the concrete shoes that is the rest of his team.
Never thought we'd say that about GAM.
To be fair, GAM is still 2-1, even though they are 4-4 in game score, so 50% win rate there. They're still 2-1 in series, and if they continue on this path, they will still make playoffs. Even though I was super tilted when I went back this week to watch all the games from last week. I was so tilted in GAM games, especially in their series against %, where they looked they didn't even look like just a plain bad team. They looked like not a team at all. They looked like no one really cared what happened on the map. DR1 overextending in the bot lane, just mindlessly pushing out waves, and then he was kind of surprised when 4 people showed up with Baron buff and killed him in 1 second. It's like, this wouldn't have happened in the last season. He would have been way more mindful about his positioning. GAM really is not much of a team past 15 minutes. But the first 15 minutes are still legendary, right? They are all very good solo queue players, even the bot lane. So I feel like you have to weather the storm against GAM, and then you can come in and try to win the game. Which 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗹𝗶 might not be the best team to do this style of play, because so far they've been very. They also are a very strange team. Against % last week, they looked super good on reactive teams. They played to punish 50% when they overextended and played two very dominant games. And then against Flash, they tried to go for the aggressive style, for the playmaking style, and didn't do anything in the game and just rolled over and died. So I'm really not sure what to make of Saigon Buffalo either.
Well, we'll have to come back to it. We are just going to go to our little break, and we'll be back very soon with Champion Select. Well, I'm keen for this one. I'm really, really keen for that top lane. But we'll see you soon, guys. Don't you worry.
The auto attack range, and you sort
I've
of
made a
match them
mistake,
in early
boys.
game.
We've been muted the whole time. I've made a mistake.
Holy,
I've made a mistake. There's been some good analysis going on. I've made a mistake. I'm sorry.
Happens.
So you might want to give the flash notes of what you've been saying. I'm so sorry, lads. This is my fault. Blame every day.
Targeted bans on the side of GAM, Senna, Wukong, whatever. They've indicated that Saigon doesn't like to play Varus. That style isn't very good at it. GAM snaps it up with the Jace, possible pick comp, possible poke comp. Even more so with this Shyvana. Saigon here, I think, with the aspect to sort of counter Varus and lane, sort of match the auto attack range, match the poke within the lane itself. I think from here, if Saigon can draft tanks, Braum has to be a ban here on the side of GAM, I think. With that
this is very projectile focused composition from GAM, of course, but also the possibilities of
Froggy-O.
Froggy-O? No, I don't believe in Froggy-O.
What? But he's such a lane dominant champ. He's a lane dominant player. Let's go.
Froggy-O would be cool.
Exists.
Ooh.
Maybe. He doesn't have last pick, so the possibilities the probability is very low. But I just imagine playing against Jace Shock Blast.
What?
Wait, the Braum was banned?
Why did Buffalo ban it?
I mean,
That is...
so I guess the idea is if GAM picks up the Braum in their next, because they get first pick in the second rotation, they will go for the Braum. It shuts out a lot of the counter that Saigon can go for. It blocks the Ornn pick, which, you know, a big beefy tank does help, is good against the a Pokemon.
I want to see Tahm Kench into Blitzcrank. I think that's what's going to happen. Tahm Kench for GAM and Blitzcrank counter for Saigon. Continue, please.
Worth noting, Genza's in.
Oh,
Just notice that. Genza is playing for GAM.
Genza is playing ADC. The mid laner, the substitute mid laner is playing ADC for GAM.
So I think something...
Okay.
Someone's sick.
I think either... I think Easy Love might be sick. And also Jisoo's sick?
Yeah, they have 2 ADC players and instead sub in their secondary mid player. That is very surprising. Maybe they wanted to play a mage style and didn't anticipate going up against Varus. But yeah, we have to see how Genza can perform on some of the ADCs.
Are we gonna get middle sticks?
This is probably middle sticks.
That said, 𝗂𝗂 Cup, Hin played a lot of support fiddlesticks.
That's true as well.
That's true. That's actually very true. He was very good on the mid fiddlesticks as well.
And
we are really going 𝗂𝗂fire here for Buffalo. Their 2 𝗂𝗂fire champions are assembled.
And there's the Ornn pick.
No.
They have a damage problem.
Oh god, they have Hasmid on Ornn into Kiaya. It's a tragedy.
And Kiaya's going to be playing the Silas, it looks like.
Silas counter pick here. Very good ultimates. Holy moly, look at the ultimates. Every single one is...
Silas with a Fiddlesticks ultimate is going to be absurd.
Yeah. He can move with the Fiddlesticks ult activated. Holy... This is such an OP champion in this composition. Every single ultimate is actually good. You can get Subjugate and... steal away a lot of tanky stats from Hasmid, be super tanky in teamfights. You can try to follow Froggy in rotations. Styles ultimate is perfect for picks, of course, and then Hin's ultimate is the non-plus ultra, where you go. Wow, that is such a smart pick. I really like this one, and it's a good matchup in lane later on. Early on, he can struggle from time to time. We've seen Ornns win the lane, but in later
it's support
levels...
Pantheon!
Wait, what?
What?
It was support Pantheon. They didn't swap it. It's middle sticks.
Oh.
So
I didn't.
That is actually a better play against the sort of poke comp that was being set up, because double tank. It really does force Varus to go into that on-hit build, which I mean, in the
you
end,
say
it
double
really
tank, but is Fiddlesticks actually a tank? He's tanky.
Yes.
He's tanky, but he's not a full tank.
The swap did happen. You've got this hype for nothing, Vinny. You've sold us out.
I saw...
You've lied.
Wrong. Look, I saw that
Vinny,
before it cut away.
Vinny will be removed from the broadcast. Don't worry. We don't tolerate this kind of deceit. Someone make the...
you never know. Maybe the graphics are not updated either. Yeah. Hin is on Pantheon.
Oh, yes! He's back! He's allowed back in! But he's got to give us...
a superior analyst!
But you've got to give us...
the screen.
You've got to give us your final word and a prediction.
So yeah, overall, I like I guess, triple, almost quadruple tank comp against GAM. Especially because Genza is going lethality, it seems, with the Comet pick. But that Silas pick just seems so spicy. I'm going to give it to GAM.
All right, well, we'll check back in with you after the game. Now, Yulwei, it's just you and me. We've got a nice, good time here. Froggy's getting down in the mid lane.
Man.
He's having a great time.
No. This skin is such a mess.
Good skin. It is such a good skin. The legendary.
Interesting that Vinnie really likes Saigon Buffalo's comp. I hate it. I think it
doesn't
bad.
do damage. It doesn't do any damage.
I hate Ornn. I think Ornn is a really bad champion, and Ornn got nerfed even more in this patch. So Ornn for Harsmid is already already leads me to say GAM will win the game because Harsmid is the main carry. So
yeah, even if Ornn was good, it's on Harsmid who is trying to carry your team. This is a good blue buff steal. They just walk in and take a blue.
Yeah, it gives a little bit of time to Levi if he wants to go for this counter steal. On the other side, it's also the AP Shyvana, of course, without resource bar. So blue buff steal doesn't really do that much against Shyvana. So it's not the end of the world. And it seems like we are getting a taste of Pantheon support.
We are. There is a little bit of damage traded back and forth. I just want to point out, Levi got into the enemy. Levi got into the... Oh, but Hin's going forward. 𝗀𝗂𝗃 taking a lot. And first blood will be picked up. Hin claims that one. That couldn't have been easier.
Well, we have to question why 𝗀𝗂𝗃 is playing ADC again, because he's not an ADC. And it seems to be showing very early on that he's not an ADC player.
He's in some trouble. He knows that they're there. There's going to have to be a flash, but it's straight into the knockup. And Levi flashes the wall into the bop. And it's 2 kills for the Buffalo.
Nicely done. Good reaction for Harsmid. Perfectly timed E to just instantly lock down Levi. Who overextended a little bit too much. I think he should have just been fine with the blue buff steal and not overextend for the... Oh, wow, he started Wolves. Yeah, you're right.
He went Wolves to Gromp. What, you've got to secure
he wanted all 3 camps, so that is a little much. He probably should have just taken the buff, and now...
That early priority that was gained is now Kiaya. There, he is between a rock and a pillar place. A double pillar, I should say. He's between a big pillar and a little
2 pillar places, even.
So, GAM has the best first 15 minutes in the league, you say? They are down 1.5k at 3.5 minutes.
The interesting thing about GAM is if they don't get ahead early, they don't do anything. So this is already a very bad sign because looking at all the games from last week, when they are ahead, they are quite a fearsome team. They can do a lot, and it is very annoying to play against them because they play very mechanically. So they play a very scrappy, very skirmishy game without a lot of rotations and objective focus. But when they're behind, they fail to do a lot most of the time. So now it's their time to show us that they are actually a team, that they can adapt and improve from the last week. Because if this game was played last week, from what I've seen, it's probably very much in favor of SGB.
Yeah, I mean, it is very difficult to call against SGB when they've had such a successful early game. Style moving forward, Slay could be in some trouble, but Levi... coming to reinforce. He hasn't been spotted. This could be a lot of trouble here for Hin. He's dived forward. He should have the E to block all the damage and does. But Levi is here for moral support mostly.
Yeah, level 3 AP Shyvana gang. Something you don't really want to do. Something that almost never happens. Now she's in a little bit of trouble.
On the way, there's the stun, and Ashe will be slowing. A teleport's been used. They can't answer it, but they'll just disengage, and now Dia1 falls behind in his lane.
I really like what Meliodas did here. Meliodas actually, we have.
Oh, we've got to come back to it. It's Harsmid. Oh, never mind. He missed the knockup.
Still a little bit dicey. Kiaya could go for the counter engage here with the Kingslayer.
There's a teleport being used. I'm not even sure who that is. It's coming in, and it's the Frogmeister coming in on the middle sticks, and he and drains him down.
Oh no! That's your one screech you get. This fiddlesticks
I'm done. I'm not doing it again. That's the one.
Thank you. I did not expect that to happen. Okay. So no time to get back. Maybe we can get a bot lane play because first thing I want to point out, Meliodas actually went with a very nice adaptation in the jungle, face rush instead of the usual PTA, and we can see that in the okay. Look at this trade first.
It's not a trade. It's
sad times.
It's not a trade.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very, very smart adaptation for Saigon Buffalo, in my opinion. Froggy against Dia1, you worry about his laning phase, right? You're like, ooh, I don't know about that. I don't want him to get solo killed. So you just put him on fiddlesticks duty, and he just stands in the way, presses W, and Dia1 can't do anything. There is Honestly, just a good read. I really like these creative changes for Saigon Buffalo. They're one of the teams that like to do that.
Yeah, I'm down. Like, give Froggy something he can't die on. It is so easy to lane on the tankle sticks.
Yeah. I mean, can you even call it laning? It's really
You're playing a different game. Ooh, that was a bit of an odd one, but 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗶 is here, and I don't think 𝗀𝗂𝗋 will be here much longer as they are juggling the aggro. 𝗧 plays it expertly, but 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗶 gets the kill. GAM.
Perfect execution on the dive again.
Yeah, that was really well done.
Yeah, and this is something GAM changed from last season, or last split, I should say, to this one. GAM last split was actually pretty good at dealing with early dives. They were their bot lane especially played weak side well and was able to adapt to movement. This split so far, it really looks like solo queue here, where everyone is just playing their own game, and if something happens, okay, it happens. It's like, yeah, what can I do? I got 4-man. There's no counterplay to that. Of course there is, but they are playing like there isn't, and now it's 5-0.
There's
3K
actually
gold lead.
a bit of an interesting storyline that isn't on the Rift. Is that GAM's coaching staff from last split are all at the Buffalo, but now 𝗂𝗃 calling in the Ram. He's very low though. 𝗬𝗂𝗋 gets the counter kill as he brings in the hammer, and it's a 1-for-1.
One of the best interactions in the game. I love double forge squad. Forge squad call. Yeah, it's just perfect. I actually didn't expect 𝗬𝗂𝗋 to get the redirection there. That was super close. So 𝗬𝗂𝗋 playing very aggressively. I think he should have just flashed away when he saw the game coming, honestly. Probably would have been the better choice, especially considering that the... Yeah, that is a very aggressive one. He's trolling a little bit, honestly. He's going armor item first, and then also executioner's calling. It's 𝗬𝗂𝗋. You know, he likes to do it with style, like his hair,
like his bot lane,
like his bot lane too. Yeah,
very stylish here on the Buffalo. But I was saying before that play happened, is all of the coaching staff that made GAM's regular split so successful are now at the Buffalo. All of their coaches went to the Buffalo. So it's
and so far we haven't really seen much.
They're raiding them.
Yeah, I feel like Saigon Buffalo has shown us a lot of diversity in draft. The in-game hasn't really looked super well coached. Like that's the difference between, like I would say, a very well coached in-game team is Cerberus or OPG or even Secret. While Saigon Buffalo looks like they have a very good analyst when it comes to draft, and they are willing to expand the champion pools and try new stuff like Nico, like now the middle sticks. So I want to see more better in-game calls as well. But so far, you can't fault them for anything in this game, of course. 3K gold lead against GAM early on. 9 minutes in, they got all the objectives.
Yeah, and we continue to see 𝗂𝗂𝗋 be super unsuccessful in the VCS. Chains of Corruption are used, but here's the Crowstorm. The Tempered Fate from Slay is defensive, trying to buy time for 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗶 to throw some bombs. Here comes Jace. This could be where it turns around. 1-for-1 at the moment. And I think it'll stay that way as 𝗭𝗟 finally charges. Does GAM want to have a second round? 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗶 has found 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗶. Slay flashes over. The Trundle could be caught. Can he dodge? Oh my god, that bomb nearly hits. It did hit, just didn't quite do the damage. And now the Buffalo have got to evacuate. They've got some very angry boys behind them, but they should be able to get out.
And sadly, 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗶's ultimate has now run out, so he can't really do much chasing. Dia1 also on a 17 second cooldown for his next Shock Blast. So in the end, he can't, not Shock Blast, but the Acceleration Gate, of course. So in the end, they can't get the kills, and it's still a very positive trade for Saigon Buffalo, even though this was very dangerous, but it doesn't stop here.
And 𝗀𝗂𝗋, speaking of danger, he's in danger of getting re-benched, I think, as he is 0-4-1 at 10.5 minutes. 𝗂𝗂𝗋, who?
Yeah, 𝗂𝗂𝗋 is not a good champion, just looking at VCS footage. He seems to be super useless. I don't think we have seen a single good 𝗂𝗂𝗋 game. I think he won one on Saigon Buffalo with the attack speed build, which is really not the one that is feared across the world. So, I mean, from our evidence, 𝗂𝗂𝗋 is a shit champ, and you shouldn't pick him.
Yep, worst ADC in the game. Just play 𝗓𝗛. We've seen 𝗓𝗛 performances work.
Yeah, 𝗓𝗛 won a game. 𝗂𝗂𝗋. Better win rate in the 𝗂𝗂𝗋, so... quad era random.
Yeah, it's worth saying. And now, obviously, we don't know why 𝗀𝗂𝗃 is in. I assume it must be a health issue with 𝗬𝗓𝗏. I don't think 𝗬𝗓𝗏's been the problem for GAM.
But what about 𝗬𝗓?
Oh, dear, Style. He could be in a lot of trouble. He's absolutely gonski. They're calling in a teleport and the Pantheon ult. He's somehow still alive. This could be a massive mistake here by SGB, but they've now got a 4v4. 𝗬𝗏, has he got access to the call? He does not. But 𝗬𝗓𝗏 has access, and it's a Venn diagram of Crowstorm, but only for a moment, as the Buffalo are losing this one. It's a triple kill for 𝗬𝗓𝗏. You can't keep a good revolutionary down, and it's a quadra kill. GAM are back in the game.
The VCS, they always deliver on our stat casts. We give it the 𝗬𝗓𝗏 stat card, and he comes back with a quadra kill in game at 11 minutes. What a blunder for Style there. Again and again, he's showing that he's not quite, it hasn't quite arrived on stage, I feel. Like, there was, once again, a little bit of a solo queue mistake, in my opinion, where he just overextends for no reason whatsoever when his team is close by, but nowhere close enough to actually help him out there. And good capitalization from GAM. Let's look at this again. It's pretty much just disrespect against Bard, and
I don't know.
That is a very obvious Bard play.
I think the problem here is that they called the boys in. You've just got to accept he's
dead.
Yeah,
that too. Definitely, it's a sunk cost fallacy. A little bit on their side. It's like, oh god, our ADC, we need to help him. And then everyone dies afterwards. Because, of course, they start the fight 4v5. They also invest a lot to just get there. Pantheon ult is out already, hasn't really done anything, hasn't really brought them in positional advantage. And then 𝗀𝗏 gets delayed. Very good Bard play. I want to credit 𝗧𝗏 for the whole passage of play there, making the tunnel happen, which, of course, isn't the hardest play ever, but you still have to credit him. And then a very good reactionary ult on 𝗬𝗏's teleport. So 𝗬𝗏 was disabled for the first few seconds in the fight and couldn't get a very nice knock-up in, couldn't align the enemies for a nice multi-man CC chain. So good play. And suddenly the game is back, not quite in control for GAM. It's still a more than 2k gold lead for Saigon Buffalo, but they are definitely feeling better about the game now.
Absolutely. And I think the problem here for the Saigon Buffalo is where that gold went. All gone onto 𝗬𝗓𝗏. Sylas has the potential to do a lot of work here, but it was an arrow onto 𝗀𝗂𝗃. And Style, well, I don't know if he's redeemed himself, but he'll be feeling a lot better as he picks up that kill.
Good accuracy. Doesn't really account for his earlier mistakes, because that's a very different aspect of play, right? Yeah. The one is just good mechanical accuracy, and the other one is just map awareness. So different areas. But it's good to see him shine in the one he's supposed to shine in, right? He's a rookie. He's maybe not quite stage ready yet in some aspects. So at least he can show us some of the glimpses of why he was picked up as the new ADC, replacing 𝗏𝗏𝗃, one of the big legends.
Yeah, we'll have to see. As you said, so far, Style has definitely been the weak link of this Buffalo team.
For sure. Yeah, together with 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. And honestly, let's talk a little bit about 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, because think back to last year, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 against Levi matchup. That was horrible for Saigon Buffalo, or 𝗂𝗏𝗏 Buffalo at the time. That was a real big trouble. Levi would wipe the floor with this jungler. And so far, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 in this split actually has looked pretty weak. I was very disappointed in him, especially on this Kindred, where he ints away a lot of early kills. But this game is a big turnaround. Even in CS against a farming jungler in 3-on-3 on the Trundle, a big threat for the late game.
Absolutely. He's looked very, very good here on the Troll. Froggy up in the top side. There's a lot of members of GAM around. The vision is just set up for the Rift Herald. Hin hiding in the brush.
Another big skirmish.
This is just a roaming squad by GAM. They're just looking for fights. They don't want to play lanes at all. As they start,
they have all 5 members in topside, while 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 has no teleport. He's way behind play.
Ooh,
and
Tempered
in full
Fate
vision
onto Style. They're going to engage here. 𝗬𝗓𝗏 has the subjugate. This Ashe is DED dead. 𝗀𝗂𝗃 now, he'll be the second one to go down. He means a lot less, though. Froggy, can he find a way to Crowstorm into this fight? Not with Dia1 on top of him, I don't think. This one is going well here for GAM. Can the Fiddlesticks get away? Absolutely not. The call of the Forge God is finally used. He wants to get Dia1. He's trying to chase him down, but the Ghostblade is very good. Now 𝗬𝗲𝗻, he's a tanky boy. He does a lot of damage. Hin gets a little bit too hype. 𝗬𝗲𝗻 gets the kill. He gets the knock up, but I don't think he'll get anything more except another death to his name. And that is now 𝗬𝗂𝗹𝗹. We hyped him up for a reason, lads. Look at this man go.
What are they doing every day? I don't understand the thought process behind this play. Why would you try to fight your top laner, who's your main, one of your best players, and your main engage tool, as well as your big tank, is not there. He's very far away. Just give up the second herald. It's not even the first one. It doesn't even do anything for you. You could try to get bot side control for the third dragon. Look at the dragon count. Yep. Like this was such an unnecessary fight, and wow, this was such a bad play for Saigon Buffalo.
GAM brainwashing device has seeped in. Its effects are in. They've brainwashed the Buffalo to play the solo queue style. And here we are, spectating bronze elo VN ranked.
And we know 𝗬𝗂𝗹 is the best solo queue player right now on the VCS. True. I saw the stats. He's just behind 𝗬𝗹𝗻. By far the highest from all the active VCS players. So, of course, he's going to dominate a solo queue style game. 6-3-2 right now, 400 gold shutdown.
I mean,
but they still have to do something about this dragon.
Sylas can really hard carry this game, but you are right, the dragon's a problem. 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗴𝗏 gets caught. That's not good at all. He's getting everything chained on, but here comes a crow storm, and it's 𝗬𝗂𝗹𝗹 that goes down. That's worth about 4 kills, I think. Tier 1, he's on the other side. There's a call of the Forge God. It'll knock him up. This Jace will be going down, methinks, and there it is. And the Buffalo right the ship, and they get back on track.
Seems like whoever is first to the objective wins, which makes a lot of sense. That's one of the basic rules of League. You can only break a few times. This time around, I'm not sure why 𝗬𝗂𝗹 was this far forward. Very good style play with the ultimate as well. And all the plays from either team are a little bit scuffed, and they don't seem to be able to calculate damage well. You are trying to engage on a Trundle that is 3-0-5, has almost 2 items completed, and has a subjugate available. It's very unlikely for you to burst him down. And then the counterplay, of course, with Froggy came in, so good execution this time around from SGB. This whole game is a little bit of a mess. You can clearly see both teams not being super well not communicating super well, but it's a fun one. It's a lot of kills, 24 kills in 18 minutes. We're back in VCS action. So I have no idea where we're going, but I feel like compositionally Saigon Buffalo are a little bit in a little bit of an advantage because their 2 tanks are so strong. No.
Tell you that one for free. 𝗀𝗄𝗃, he has had a rough return as the Ash Arrow. Oh, yeah. It was just a 𝗬𝗶𝗴cie 𝗕𝗂𝗃. It's on a really low cooldown with this.
Fair enough. Yeah, you can already see it tick down. Yeah. Wow, that is a super low cooldown.
Yeah, it's like 40 seconds. Level 11.
I haven't actually gotten around to play those things. Every time I look at it, it looks so disgusting.
I've played a few games of it top lane, and you're right, you don't lane. You just press W.
And the Herald is still there, by the way. No one took the Herald after the last fight. So here we go again.
No, I think
this time around Saigon Buffalo.
Yeah, I think they've learned.
So this is actually a good capitalization on missed ultimates for GAM. They saw the 2 ultimates miss and immediately went to the objective, knowing now Saigon Buffalo can't really fancy a fight. So yeah, that's a good play, a good macro concept understood by GAM, which is something we need to praise because there isn't much macro going on in this game, to be honest. But the big point we have to talk about is in 3 minutes. The big soul is going to be there. And this soul is perfect for Saigon Buffalo because this soul gives them damage.
Which they sorely need.
Indeed. So even champs like Fiddlesticks on full tank items, 𝗦𝗶𝗴𝗏 and 𝗬𝗲𝗻 will deal a fair amount of damage. The soul scales on all 3 things, right? It scales on HP as well. So even tanks deal a lot of damage with this soul. So I feel like if soul comes in, Saigon Buffalo insta-win. So this is something GAM needs to be aware of and needs to prevent from happening.
That they do. I'm sure they are aware. They did try and fight around the 3rd one. It just didn't go so well in the end. It's 𝗬𝗂𝗹. steals the 𝗀𝗏𝗺 just to clear out the wave. He'll obviously have access to it by the time of the next Drake. It's no big deal. And Sepia Rift.
Style seems to have a little bit of a problem, but I hope we can at least see the screen. Just wanted to touch on item builds, because we see double lethality into 4 tanks. Of course, these champs kind of have to build lethality, but at least on the case of Jace, I feel like he should have gone with a little bit of a scaling build. You can still build Muramana on this champion. It can scale up to a lot of damage, especially if you are able to dive into the backline. So don't really like the double lethality on Jace Varus, mostly because it's very hard to get damage in on Hasmid.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. This is a game. This is a game of League of Legends. I'm very confused. Very confused. I'm glad to see a Sylas doing well. I love watching some Sylas. Get those chains spinning. But can 𝗬𝗂𝗃 carry this one? Is it carryable?
Good question. Yes, but it's very hard. If he lands a 5-man Fiddlesticks ultimate out of nowhere in the late game, level 16 Sylas ultimate with all his scaling, stealing away Fiddlesticks, I feel like he could blow up everyone. And especially if he gets on top of Style and is able to maybe even damage all the others so they can't trade back. There's always a world where that ends the game straight up, but it's hard. It's hard to imagine. Right now, I feel like 𝗳𝗏𝗶𝗴 are in a very solid position to close out this game. Soul into Baron, into just overwhelm the enemy with your tankiness, and you can even dive turrets if you want. There isn't much the enemy team can do against that. Varus ult, but yeah, that's only for a few seconds.
It's possible that this pause has been called because GAM wants to chrono break putting Genza in.
Oh no.
Just crack in Jisoo.
Well, I have no idea why they went with Genza in the first place.
I guess
the Jisoo.
I feel like Jisoo just must not be scrimming that. They must have fully written Jisoo, or both of them are sick.
Possible too, yeah, of course.
Like we don't know.
If they're both sick, of course. I hope they get well soon, and I wish them the best.
Yeah.
But well, Genza bot lane just surprising, and he clearly doesn't look comfortable. I mean, I kind of thought they maybe wanted to go with a little bit more of the mage play, and honestly, Varus kind of fits that bill as well, right? He's a little bit more of a mage champion than an ADC champion, but he didn't even look comfortable in level 1 in bot lane. He didn't understand this, the base concept of laning in bot lane at all. He just got caught over and over again by Pantheon. To be fair, it's not the most common bot lane, right? It's not the bot lane you will face when you off-roll for a few games a week in bot lane in solo queue. But yeah, I still feel like this really looks like an emergency sub, so
I mean,
we have to see what GAM can do with this.
You don't face the Pantheon very often, but Pantheon, it's not hard to know what he does.
Yeah,
he stuns you and then deals a lot of damage. Like, it's not that hard to understand.
Yeah, he walks up to you, then when you're in range, he just presses W, and then he's annoying, and you're at half HP.
Exactly.
But yeah, you can definitely anticipate that. What I really like is that both top laners have looked very strong in this game.
Slay on screen because he looks like he wants to kill someone. He's going to live up to his name in the GAM team house tonight. He looks furious.
Slay is really not having it.
Oh.
He's probably just flaming his ADC all the time in his head right now. It's like, why do I have to play with such bad ADCs? I was much better ADC.
I could be the ADC. I can play on two. I can just play Yuumi with my feet. Someone got to plat doing
something that actually happened.
Yeah, someone got to plat duoing with themselves.
Probably not possible anymore with Yuumi being dead after the last patch.
Yeah.
That was such a brutal nerf. That's one of the most brutal nerfs I've ever seen, I think. The nerf hammer came down on Yuumi and just...
The Akali ult nerf is brutal. The initial one,
where
they just tripled its cooldown.
Oh yeah, that was. But she was still like she was a bad champion, but still playable, right? Like
Yeah,
Yumi
sure.
is straight up not really playable anymore. Like
Good.
you press E twice in late game and you're out of mana. You're like, what am I supposed to do? It's so dumb.
Not be picked, and that is for the benefit.
Fair enough.
That is for the benefit of the community. Ooh,
And the first time when the Olaf nerf happened, I don't even know what the Olaf nerf was, but I know that was.
Remember.
Yeah, that was so infamous for so long for being the Olaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look at the items now for the top side of 𝗂𝗏𝗵𝗺. There is no way anyone kills those two tanks.
No chance.
Yeah, so GAM needs to look for ways to get on top of Style, and even Hin as well. Hin is pretty squishy after his E wears off, so I feel like if you can kill Style before the soul comes in, then you might be able to whittle down the tanks in like 30 seconds of team fight, because it takes a lot of time.
It does. It's also worth noting that despite the 6 kills, 𝗂𝗏𝗵 is only slightly behind in gold, but he's actually way ahead because of ornaments.
Yeah. 𝗂𝗏𝗵 is super strong right now. He also, with the early executioner's calling, I think 𝗂𝗏𝗵 can't really side lane against him too well, so...
Ooh, Tempered Fate. They're going to use it, but here come the boys. Hin diving in. Levi goes into the dragon form. There is a stolen Crow Storm, but it doesn't matter. One is already dead. The virus goes down. Levi trying to scuttle away. In comes 𝗂𝗏𝗵, though, turning it all around, and this is going in the way of GAM. They are getting melted away, are the Buffalo, and it's only going to be 𝗂𝗏𝗵 left standing, wondering, where did all my friends go?
They all went into the grave, as that was, once again, a very questionable play for 𝗂𝗏𝗵𝗵. They knew the ult was stolen from 𝗂𝗏𝗵. 𝗂𝗏𝗵 showed his stolen ult on display. He put it on display.
And he stole it during the fight. That's not fair, I don't think.
Yeah, but they saw these. He still wasn't vision when he tried to get away to get in a good position. And 𝗂𝗏𝗵𝗵 just funneled into the choke point, or it's not really a choke point. It's like they just ran up the lane, but it's still with no vision on the Fiddlesticks ult, and this is a Fiddlesticks ult with a lot of AP behind it, so it's not the tank Fiddlesticks ult that's just slightly annoying, but you can deal with it. This is one of the highest damage ultimates in the game being stolen. This game, man,
So
what can you even say?
So what, it's interesting, because do you think the rest of 𝗂𝗏𝗵's body matches up to his shoulders? As Levi hops over the wall, the Varus ult was used, but so was the Fiddle ult, and that's a lot of damage. Levi going down, and this time they can't turn it with a Crow Storm of their own. 𝗂𝗏𝗵 will get one. Style now getting chased off by DR, and it's going GAM's way again. Hin and 𝗏𝗏𝗶𝗃 are the only ones standing, and that's only going to be 𝗏𝗏𝗶𝗃, and GAM get back to a gold lead. They stop the Dragon Snowball, and what are we watching?
We're watching GAM win a game that they have absolutely no business winning.
No. We are not watching GAM win the game. We are watching 𝗂𝗏𝗵 win a game.
We are also definitely watching 𝗂𝗏𝗵𝗵 losing a game. It's just, wow.
But I was going to say, do you think 𝗂𝗏𝗵 could possibly maintain a workout routine that means he doesn't look like a Dorito? Because those shoulders are about 5 miles across.
Yeah, it's true. Oh man, what happened to 𝗂𝗏𝗵? I mean, I'm super happy to see it, but he is such a monster this split. It's unbelievable. Every single game he looks good. Even in the losses they had, he looked decent. He had maybe one bad series last week against 𝗏𝗏, but even then, I think he was decent in top lane. So super impressive, absolutely insane. But now the soul is delayed, and 𝗂𝗏𝗵𝗵 is still struggling to get any damage. This Ashe is going lifesteal, so she's not even going crit. She doesn't really deal much damage, and I actually feel like 𝗀𝗏𝗺 should adapt his build to go 𝗬𝗨𝗎 to at least add a little bit of damage.
That's standard third item.
Yeah, okay.
You only go 2 tank items. You go 𝗬𝗨𝗎 Zhonya's now.
That makes sense. Yeah, I would really like to see a little bit more damage from 𝗀𝗏𝗺. He's far behind when it comes to resources. He's level 13 and only on 150 CS, which is not really 𝗀𝗏𝗺's fault. Yeah, it's true. It's the Froggy, but this time around, it's not really Froggy's fault. This happens with every single middle stakes I've seen so far. So it's actually the perfect champ for him. He has an excuse for his CS deficit now.
So, this is a bit of a weird one, is, I think, the way to put it. GAM is playing a 4v5, where 3 of those 4 are 𝗂𝗧.
Shout out to Slay.
Yeah,
1-0-15. Absolutely smurfing. But yeah, I agree.
This is
but also,
I don't know how to approach this game. What was that?
looking for something. Throwing everything at SGB and seeing what sticks, I guess. They wanted to get style there.
The point I was trying to get to, but this game has boggled me so much, is look at the goal totals at 26 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty even.
But it's so high, the actual goal totals.
Oh, right. Almost 50k for either team.
Almost 50k at 26 minutes. This is so accelerated.
Yeah, and both teams have really accepted the acceleration for it. They've just traded gold here and there. One fat member. Look at Hin. Hin is sitting on 3 items completed, if you count the boots and his completed support item. There is so much gold on both of the supports. Look at all the items down there. They probably have more gold than some of the ADCs here. 1 and 7 Varus struggling to build his 3rd item. Looking at his support, and he's already building his 4th. So, yeah, some very rich players on the map. Richer than you expect. Also, very high levels. Look at Slay. He's level 13 as a support.
Yeah, exactly. And this is something we touched on the 𝗦𝗶𝗴cie podcast. Go check it out, guys. Sellout. But we were talking about the Buffalo, and we were saying how they look really good, but I brought it up, and I think I'm being vindicated. They've only got 1 carry, because Style's not ready. Froggy doesn't play a super hard carry. Look at him. He's on tank fiddlesticks. Fair enough. Style is not doing enough on this Ashe, and they've jammed 𝗬𝗂 on 𝗚𝗔𝗠. He's doing his bloody best. He's putting on a damn good 𝗚𝗔𝗠
they put him on.
But why is he on it?
Yeah, it's a very good question. And even after 𝗦𝗂𝗧𝗓 had such an impressive early game, he just doesn't have the damage to contribute. I touched on his rune choice, and this I still feel like it's the correct choice to go with the speed trundle here. But now it kind of hurts him because he can't even apply the extra damage for his other champs, right? At least you get a little bit of a debuff applied with PTA and can contribute in that manner. Now he can't even do that, so he's a little bit more selfish in terms of rune choice. But yeah, I also feel like Style is losing to the shopkeeper very hard this game. He needs damage, and he's building the nerf death stance right now.
Exactly.
I really don't agree with this item build. I feel like he needs more crit damage. He has such a big front line. If he dies, that's his front line's fault. He shouldn't build defensive at all.
Yeah, I 100% agree. He needs to be the source of damage, considering they can't get this soul. They need to actually win a fight.
Yeah, and another thing to consider in terms of item build is no one is building on items.
Yeah.
So even though On is level 15, he has only handed out the worst. Yeah, Blade of the Rune King is the worst single on upgrade, and he's not able to upgrade anything else because no one is building on items. So this is really not the great on scaling game everyone is always dreaming about. Because
Froggy needs to hide. Froggy needs to not show at all. There's a Tempered Fate straight onto Style. They've got to protect him. But there's a dragon leaping forward. He manages to get away from now. 𝗂𝗧 does have the Fiddlesticks ult and goes straight onto Style. Who cares about AoE? Use it as a single target damage. Hin doesn't get away. And once again, it's all going GAM's way. Froggy will be the next one to fall. He's draining. But it's not enough. 𝗬𝗂𝗪's flashing away. 𝗦𝗂𝗧𝗓 on the run. But GAM is fully in control of this game. And I don't know how they've done it your way, but they're here and they look like they're gonna win.
It's still pretty far away. They haven't really cracked any base turrets or anything, but they are winning all the fights. That's for sure.
They're gonna win the game because they don't lose fights. 𝗂𝗧 is just saying, you know, me big boy, me put team on back, and we're going to the Nexus.
I really also like Dia1's Jace team fighting, because he has played Jace almost every single game this split. He's definitely a Jace main at this point. But his team fighting on Jace is super clean. A lot of people think Jace is a bad team fighter, and he can be, but I actually think Jace mid lane is a decent team fighter. Top lane, I don't like him too much, because his role is a little bit different. He needs to flank and stuff. But in mid lane, he's just basically a little bit of an ADC mage hybrid, and he's dealing so much damage in these team fights, trying to shred through the tanks. Adapted his build to Black Cleaver, so he actually can deal with some of the tanks as well. So shout out to Dia1 for the back half of this game as well.
Now, Yulwei, you're doing some good analysis there, but I'm going to go ahead and satisfy everyone in the chat that's like me with the big monkey brains, as that is a Sylas with 3 items and a 20-stack Medjais. He is a big lad. He is leading the revolution. He has 457 AP, and he is going to make this look like October 1917 in here. It turns out that 𝗳𝗂𝗹𝗶𝗴𝗀 were the Tsar and his family, because they're about to get gunned down in a train carriage. I'm not saying it was a good thing. It's just a thing that happened. It happened. It historically happened.
It's true. Absolutely. We have to wait. Maybe there's something 𝗳𝗂𝗹𝗶𝗴 still has to say, and then it's probably not the most correct characterization. Ashe is still building some items, so
good chain to corruption dodge. Stepping away.
I really think Ashe itemization has lost them the chance in this game.
Yeah, I agree.
She could be sitting on a molten edge right now and shredding through the front line that approaches her in team fights. Instead, she's sitting on a very high sustain build, but it's still not enough to fend off 𝗂𝗃. And then why are you building sustain if you can't even sustain? So I feel like if you're the main carry, you always have to build highest damage possible.
If you wanted to go, a defensive item here, you should have gone GA. What does Death Stance do? There's too much burst. You are not mitigating the Sylas burst with Levi on top of it. You're not even mitigating the Sylas burst.
It still has nice defensive stats, of course, like armor and MR on the item, still very useful. It's very slot efficient too. But still, I feel like you're already sitting on 1 lifesteal item. You really don't need 2. And you should have built more damage, more crit.
Or a Hex Shrinker. If you really want a defensive item, what about more? Hex Shrinker. Something that actually keeps you alive, because the Death Dance, it doesn't. If they get on top of style, he's dead.
It's a really bad choice, yeah. I feel like he has cost this team a big time with the item build. And that is not entirely on him, in my opinion. He's a rookie. He is probably playing the game on autopilot a lot in solo queue, where you don't really have to adapt to situations too often. So I feel like some of the veterans in his team need to also have a look at his item build and tell him, you need to build these items here. Our team composition is relying on these power spikes, and we need to have the damage to cut through some of the tanks, so you can't go for the more defensive build, even though that is meta. To be fair, Death Stance Ashe is absolutely meta right now, but yeah, these adaptations are also things that have to come in if you want to be a successful and a good player for a long time.
Absolutely. We are in a little bit of a lull state. We're taking a momentary break to catch our breath. We are still very far ahead of 1 kill per minute. Yulwei, how do the Buffalo win fights?
Oh, you're asking the very hard questions again.
What's on the other end? What's on the other end of black holes? Answer that one too, just as hard.
𝗂𝗃 misses an engage and everyone kites away and kills him. That's the way 𝗳𝗂𝗹𝗶𝗴 wins the fight, I feel. Very unlikely, as you can probably tell. But yeah, I mean, maybe. He has had some mistakes here and there in his gameplay. Not many. He's a very solid player, very consistent as well with the level of gameplay. But it can always happen, especially if you get a little bit too hyped. Of course, 20 CS.
Froggy's been caught. He goes gold. There's the call of the Forge God. It only pops a shield on Genza. And on the side, 𝗂𝗃 has the Crow Storm. He has Hin. He'll manage to walk away with the Aegis. Now, dragon spawning. would be the third for GAM. Buffalo just want to trade it for Baron. I think that's the
Yeah,
call
they
they're
can't
making.
go.
Yep, they're going to try and burst Baron. They need to do this so fast. The dragon's
no damage,
already
though.
dead. Yep, this is donezo. This is no chance. The dragon died instantly. The Baron is still at 10,000 health.
And there's still an ultimate sitting on 𝗬𝗂𝗃, the best one possible. He's trying to look for the best angle to go for the Fiddlesticks
Hin flies
engage.
forward to try and stop Levi. The Baron's secured. But here comes the Silas Storm. And hit your slab squat, boys, because he's doing a lot of damage. He hasn't managed to kill anyone yet. Froggy has gone down. But I think it's all just a matter of time. They're going down like a house of cards. And Hin is one of the only ones to survive. It's him and 𝗂𝗔𝗏 that get away from the fight. But 𝗂𝗔𝗏 won't even get away. And Mortal Kombat, I think that was a brutality.
Let's go, Slay. Slay, you can do it. Get your second kill of the game. You deserve it. Ah, so sad to see him walk away.
And
You should have challenged Slay there.
They're gonna win!
36 minutes, and look at the kill count. This is upping our CV's combined kills per minute. Yep, one more. Let's go. Hin, thank you.
Absolutely, and with that final kill, Hin goes down, and GAM proves that nothing needs to make sense. This is the VCS, and they've taken game 1.
Well, and wouldn't you like to be Genzo in this game? Just int for 40 minutes straight and still win the game because you have 𝗬𝗂𝗃 in your team. That's a great feeling for Genzo, I
Auto-filled
believe.
ADC carried by the top lane man.
The
So,
G2 way of things.
Vinny, that all went to plan, right?
Yeah. I mean, as I said, the Silas pick has had so much spice potential, and it delivered. 𝗬𝗂𝗃 just 1v9'd basically.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm about to ask you possibly the easiest question I've ever asked someone. MVP for game 1? Genzo. Obviously.
Easy
Yeah,
love.
of course.
Again.
Easy love. He didn't end. He was the most helpful person on that team to 𝗬𝗂𝗃.
It's true. Ah, come on. Slay had a good game. Slay had a good game.
Yeah,
Okay,
Slay
yeah,
played
Slay
good.
was actually
I
really
actually
good.
think Levi
But-
was fine as well. He just didn't
Yeah,
really do
no.
anything.
Yeah. He didn't really do
𝗬𝗂𝗃
much,
obviously was
Yeah.
God, like it's amazing.
I mean,
mean-
we hype him for a reason, right?
There is a reason. And please, 𝗂𝗏𝗏, stop picking tanks for 𝗂𝗂𝗃. I want to see in the next game. I want to see Bruiser against Bruiser. I want to see isolated top lane 1-1.
Silas.
Oh yeah, give me anything that actually fights in top lane, because that was a big letdown. I think 𝗂𝗂𝗏 still performed okay on the ARM, did everything he could, but
Yeah,
sadly there were no
it's-
carries in his team. So
it is worth
what can you
pointing
do?
out. 𝗬𝗂𝗃 started that game 0-3,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, and then
That
he
man is
didn't
a
end
good
the
League of
game.
Legends player.
He didn't end the game 0-3, did he? But boys, with
No.
that, we've seen the first game go into the books, and we'll be back in just over 5 minutes to see who will take game 2. Will it be a 3-game series for once, or will GAM sweep 2-0? Find out with us in just a little bit, and scroll down below the stream. Join the Discord. Come talk about it live. See you soon. G'day, boys. We came in a little bit early there, as the boys were still having a laugh when I pressed the unmute button. But I did remember to press the unmute button this time. But here we are. GAM took game one. What do we think?
Did they?
Yeah.
Did
They
GAM
did.
take game one?
Factually
Did
took
GAM
game one.
take game one? Or was it Kiaya who took game one? Because, my God, that was a one-man show.
Yeah, the man doesn't want to lose, that's for sure. And that's a joy to watch. So let's see if he can do it again. I want to see him get a pentakill, because he was very close in this game.
Got a
He
quadra.
was.
Let's give him something like... what is a good pentakill top lane champion? Jack?
Jax. Fane.
It's decent. Riven, maybe?
Ooh. I mean, Silas isn't bad.
Yeah, Silas is decent. He was close. Quadra kill very early on to turn the game.
Mordekaiser.
Maybe.
I have a clip that proves it.
There's a lot of possibilities. Where do we want to go with the second game? I don't know. I feel like GAM is still playing the same style we expected them to play. Just full on solo queue. Just don't care about anything that actually happens in game and try to outmuscle the enemy.
Yeah.
Which it's it makes me sad that it works, but I guess GAM fans are happy. So yay, GAM, good team.
I think because of that, if you're on the side of Buffalo, you have to go. Okay, so Genza is out and Jisoo is apparently
What?
in. So my boy 𝗬𝗓𝗏 just isn't getting to play this week.
𝗬𝗓𝗏
So
must be sick.
it's definitely
I think
something
𝗬𝗓𝗏
wrong.
is sick. But they had Jisoo, so why did they sub Genza in?
Don't know.
Good question. But if I definitely understand why they sub Jisoo in now. I feel like it's Slay saying, okay, if you have me play alongside Genza against another game on stage, I'm just going to quit. I'm just going to go home here. It's like
if Genza's
he'd be
in, he
right.
better be playing Galio so Slay can play the actual AD carry.
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully.
So,
Oh,
yeah, as I was going to say before substitutions, if you're Buffalo, you probably want to realize that GAM is going to try and skill check you, and most of the time they will win that skill check. I
Yeah.
mean, so you want to try and avoid that and go for more of a macro focus comp. Try and get a 1-3-1 going. Maybe a 4-1, because you might not be able to get that proper push against 𝗬𝗂𝗃. Just don't draft a team fight comp, especially one with only one true damage threat.
Unless that damage threat is 𝗂𝗃𝗃.
Yeah,
It's
unless
interesting that you say
𝗂𝗃𝗃
that.
starts to play Cog more.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because Percent just won team fights against GAM back-to-back games, right? So you could argue GAM had a bad day, but I feel like team fights are actually not that bad of a choice into GAM as long as you have good team fight coordination. And so far, Saigon Buffalo have been decent in team fights from what we've seen.
I think the difference is, if you look at percent, their play is generally better.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Glory's a lot better than Froggy. Big Core,
Unless they play against Saigon Buffalo.
Yeah, well,
The VCS doesn't make sense. You're
No, it
applying
really
a lot
doesn't.
of logic to something that doesn't quite make sense.
And the first pick, people really do not rate Styles Varus, and it's
Fair
not
enough,
an
I
unfair
wouldn't.
thing. So the 𝗬𝗂𝗃 first pick comes through, and that's a solid choice. And we're gonna get the Ash again. Salty run back. Okay, but
just give me top lane last pick, please. Just give me a counter pick for top lane. Meliodas Trundle was good. This base team composition wasn't the worst part, right? It was just they didn't really pick up a secondary carry or even a primary carry, because I think Ash shines most if you go secondary carry. Ash, she can contribute a lot of damage, especially in the late game. She is one of the highest DPS ADCs in the game with her Q and her crit scaling. If you go 100% crit on Ash, you get to a higher crit multiplier than on any other champ. So she can actually deal a lot of hyper carry damage late game, but you can also just rely on her to be secondary damage, and I feel like that's where she shines most in pro play.
Apparently we're going for a full 𝗬𝗪𝗪 comp.
I was about to say, we're getting the 𝗬𝗪𝗪 here. Unfortunately, not all part of the same clan.
Lissandra and 𝗬𝗪𝗪 for the last two? Oh, never mind.
Pivot to Karma, okay.
Alright. We're still playing a very annoying Legends of Runeterra deck. Ash Karma.
Yep.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that's awful to play against, but in terms of if that's a support Karma, that's also awful to play against if you're a GAM, because that's a lot of poke coming out of that lane.
Quite easy to gank though. If you go set Kalista into Karma or Ash, of course you will probably lose the 2v2. But once Levi pays a wizard to bot lane, maybe even DR1 going bot, it should be quite easy to kill two squishy champions in the bot lane. So I would like to see a little bit more setup for bot lane dive. Maybe, wow, that is a strange ban. But maybe a little bit of CC for mid or jungle jungle side. So
I think they're rating that. I'm not sure how they're rating that. They're just banning AP junglers.
Yeah, the read is Tier 1's going to play Jace, so
yeah.
That's true. He's always
damage profile.
Yeah. He only plays one champion. That's a fair assessment here.
DL1 champion. There you go. DL1 trick pony. That is
no.
Okay.
Who can say where the wind blows?
Okay. No, I will give them this. It makes sense here because they already see the Renekton. So it is still a counter pick. It is still the counter pick.
It's not a counter pick, though.
It's not a counter. It's a Renekton favored matchup.
I mean...
In equal skill, it's a Renekton favored matchup.
It is not a counter pick anymore. People are still saying that all the time, but it doesn't really do much as a counter pick either. Like, even if it wins lane, it doesn't really do much, especially in terms of mid-game team fighting. Renekton offers so much more. Kennen needs like 3-4 items to really take over games in team fights. And why I really don't like the cannon is that the last this comp is such garbage. The last time they tried to play the cannon with Lissandra in mid lane, they just didn't do anything. They played this composition, a very similar composition against Flash, and they had to engage. They had all the engage tools, cannon Lissandra at that time. Now it's a Fiddlesticks cannon. And they didn't try to go for any plays. They rolled over and died in 25 minutes. So I really don't like the Saigon Buffaloes going back to the worst series they've played so far against Flash, where they get stomped 2 games in a row.
I mean, Froggy, I thought Fiddlesticks was actually a pretty good pick for him. Also, look at the lane assignment.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be Jace top.
Yeah, I think they have to lane swap that. That's actually interesting, because the Renekton can go into the cannon. I think Kiaya is just saying, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Don't blame him.
Putting Kiaya on a little bit more of a carry champion.
Yeah.
Fair. But disrupting DR1's champion pool is a little bit strange to me. Of course, he has played Renekton before, so he should be also not the hardest champ to play in the game.
The Renekton into Fiddlesticks matchup is actually slightly better, though. Because you can
stun him out of his W.
You can stun him out of the W a lot easier than the knockback that Jace has. And
that makes sense.
When you get the stun, you can just completely run through Fiddlesticks. It works. Like, Fiddlesticks has a lot of very hard counters in lane. Things like Garen, things like Riven. They just with easy access to interrupts mean you become useless. And
all right, Vinny.
I think Renekton is one of those.
Vinny, you know what I'm about to ask you. Go ahead and answer it.
I mean, from what we've seen out of Kiaya, if Kiaya can pull out another performance like that, and maybe he doesn't have an inting AD carry this time, it should be GAM 2-0.
All right. Well, we'll check back in, and we'll have to find out if it is going to be the end of our broadcast or just prepping for Game 3. I think this one is very hard to call. I don't really like either team call.
Interesting. I feel like this is the biggest draft difference we've seen all day. This is such a useless composition for Saigon Buffalo in my mind.
I just don't have faith in... I've had my faith broken in the GAM bot lane.
That's a fair point, but it's not like Saigon Buffalo's bot lane is any better. So,
okay, fair point.
You know, that's like one of my points for this matchup was like, yeah, both bot lanes are shit, so it's actually good for style because he can finally show something. But it's also, of course, good for GAM to just enjoy a free bot lane, I guess, because the first game really wasn't too impressive for style.
No. Oh, the double face breaker's landed. He's burning, and he goes down. Jisoo gets first blood, and oh boy.
Slay still playing a very impressive series today. Yep. Didn't die in the first game, the only one to not die, and now a perfect face breaker. He didn't even flash to get between them. I was sure he flashed between them, but no, he just walked there. Super impressive stuff.
It helps when the enemy team stands
face checks
roughly set-sized apart. They basically said, okay, so set takes up about 1.5 TMOs of space, so let's just make sure that's our spacing, then he can sit there.
That's true.
That was bad by the Buffalo bot lane, but you're right. I'm not going to take away from Slay. I am joking. It was well played. He's really good. Slay has arguably been the best GAM player not named Kiaya.
Yeah, I think that's...
not even a controversial statement.
Definitely not a controversial statement. So now I actually want to see what Levi can do on this champion. This has been banned so many times against him. It's one of his most famous champions, and usually you want to play on top side with Elise because it's easier to gank with the 1cc setup than bot lane, where there's 2 champions and they can kind of block for each other, and there's a cleanse as well. So it's not really where Elise wants to go. Cannon can be very easy to gank. Flash Cocoon into burst from the Jace should be enough to kill him. So a little bit confused by his early pathing choice. He's very much focused on bot side right now, so the early ganks are not super likely, and he's not going Conqueror this game, so he is definitely going for early game at least.
Yeah, could go for a dive down the bot lane, just with the strength of his bot lane, right? Ooh, but the junglers have met at the crab, and Trundle should win this one early, but there was a lot of mid lane priority. Levi going very low, the smites are used, but 𝗦𝗶𝗶 got the second one, and in they go. Levi goes down, but the bot lanes have arrived. This one's going to be an extended brawl. 3v3 now. 𝗦𝗶𝗶 goes down, but here comes 𝗬𝗂𝗧 and 𝗬𝗂𝗃. We've got a party, boys. Jisoo's dead, and look at this. GAM, they're getting caught in the choke points, and now it's Dia1 in trouble. The crocodile will spin, but he's got nowhere to go. The water hole is in the other direction, and this croc, I think, will get dried out eventually. Might take a little while. He's just
maybe.
he just pressed B to go for the cheeky B. Yeah, he's dead. He can't get away.
Can he kill 𝗧𝗧 here?
No.
Wait, why are you running into turrets? Why?
He's dead. He knows he's dead.
I mean, yeah, but you can delay 𝗧𝗧 for a long time. Whatever. That's not the important part about the play. This game has started the exact same way the last game has started. Good early fight for 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗶𝗹 and good kill contribution as well. Look at that. 𝗧𝗧 starting 2-0, and now he should dominate his laning phase. Better teleport from his side, and also a more impactful teleport champion compared to Jace, who not only didn't do much, he also came in a little bit late. So this time around, big outplay for 𝗧𝗧, and maybe the first time in the series where 𝗧𝗧 is getting the better of 𝗬𝗂𝗃.
Maybe, of course, wasn't really a top laner thing. It's not like it was solo kills in the lane. It was very much just reacting faster to a map play, which can often come down to team communication. GAM,
Very fair.
I'm not 100% sure what they were doing taking that fight, if I'm honest. Like,
Playing solo queue.
yeah, that didn't need to be fought over. Just give up the crab. It doesn't matter. 𝗏𝗏gy, he went for a very aggressive drain, and now he'll be the one left desiccated in the mid lane. That was
That's such an easy setup. I want to see this more. This looked so easy to execute. Now Jisoo, very good spotting on 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗶𝗹's dive attempt. Would have been very scary against 𝗪𝗪 early on. No summoners, of course, for 𝗪𝗪, but still pretty weak early diving champions on Karma and Trundle. So I like that they called off the play as soon as they were spotted. But I feel like this is repeatable in mid lane. Levi still has his flash available, so I feel like the opportunity for flash stun is there. But first, let us look at Dragon and how this is going to be contested.
It's on about 1,000 health. Levi's going to get in range. No smite there, or a very bad one at least. Dia1, he's caught in the middle of the enemy team. He should go down. No, he's actually going to limp away, and a cocoon lands. 𝗦𝗏𝗏 has gone down. Up in the air goes Levi. 𝗏𝗏gy now, he's the next target, and 𝗏𝗏gy is gone. Dragon for 2.
Out of absolutely nowhere, GAM strikes back, and it's back in GAM's favor, 4-4 in kills. This series, both teams have decided to just play solo queue on stage. I guess we can just enjoy the ride, because we're not going to see good macro plays today, I feel. The first few minutes in the second game have kind of convinced me that both teams are just handshaking on playing solo queue.
I mean, look, there are different things that different people enjoy. Series 1, I should say, was very much a well-crafted, well-written series with very well-crafted storylines. And now we're watching Guy Fieri run around in the American South eating buffalo wings. There's entertainment in both of them.
Yeah, very fair. It's entertaining for sure. It's a little bit frustrating to see two of our teams that were projected to be top half show this little macro in summer split week 3. I feel like that is, from an analytical standpoint, a very bad sign for the league. Though we also got to enjoy two very good teams in terms of macro in the first series. So yeah, let's just enjoy the ride. Buckle up. The seat belts are going to be very, very exhausted after this one.
Credit to our Discord. This game can be summed up with, that's my blast cone. Call in the TPs.
Nice. So what you're saying is we're hoping for Inferno Rift to have more blast con spawn for more fighting spots, right?
To be fair, it doesn't really matter because they'll fight over the Scryer's Bloom and the Honey Fruit.
True.
So just not Mountain Rift.
Oh no. What is this? What are we watching?
Well, at the moment we're watching GAM take a Rift Herald, and I don't think
it's
Buffalo
uncontested.
in any position to contest.
I'm still very confused by Levi's pathing. He hasn't really attempted to gank, and there's so much good setup for his lanes. He could have gone mid lane so many times with the point and click stun. It's such a good combination of champions. We all know about the Renekton Elise. And he has just decided to farm it up on Elise, which is strange. I mean, last time he played Elise, he played Conqueror Elise, so there you could understand it there. Nashor's Tooth Elise to go for side lane pressure, but this time around he's just going the traditional burst Elise for the early game and hasn't really done much in the early game. A little bit disappointing, I have to say.
Yep, 𝗦𝗶𝗴cie is up in the top lane, wants to try and push his way up. No pings on him yet. 𝗬𝗂𝗧 get baited in here. I think he can. They'll pop up the pillar. They'll use... I haven't even used the pillar. They're just slicing 𝗬𝗏𝗡. And that was more than enough. And it's a kill for 𝗬𝗏𝗔. He's 3-0. The big boy of the Buffalo.
This should happen on the side of GAM as well. Please, Levi, make something happen. You have Elise. You have... Okay, they are setting up the dive, but very good vision so far for SGB to spot this out. And they should be able to react and just back away from this turret.
Froggy, he's
a little bit of a skirmish.
As a crow storm.
Good pressure though for GAM. 4 members in the bot lane, and they have the Rift Hold, so this should be first turret very easily secured for GAM and put them ahead 2k. Levi is really trolling this game. He pressed E instead of 4. Unfortunate.
Hey, that's a very minor mechanical mistake. Give me mans a break.
What was that? Okay, whatever. So as you can see, we're now looking at a 2k gold lead, even though they got the kill in top lane and accelerated 𝗬𝗏𝗔 even more. As I said in Champion Select, I believe this champion needs a lot of time right now to be effective in team fights. So he's still far away from the item breakpoint where he can really take over the game, kill everyone in one run, big electrocute, storm, whatever. Maelstrom thingy. That is the one. So
Slicing Maelstrom.
Slicing Maelstrom. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, he can do a lot on level 11. He's this is a famous champion for being about mid-game team fighting, level 11 power spike around dragons. And if he can finish his Zhonya's, maybe 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏 can try to go for the Dragon Snowball here and focus on the next dragon spawning in 8 seconds. He has teleport available and is resetting right now. But I feel like if 𝗬𝗂𝗧 gets the reset interrupted, which he just managed, this is a very good position now for GAM to just go for the dragon instead and pressure top lane at the same time.
Right now, Buffalo have all the vision control. We did see them. They swept out the river. They have the control wards. At the moment, GAM is walking in blind. Something that they are not afraid to do, of course. Very clever little trinket placement by the Fiddlesticks. They, of course, know it's a trinket now. But here it is. There's the Crow Storm. It's getting a lot of people. That is a huge amount of damage coming out of the Frog. But now it's turning around. They've survived the initial burst. And now GAM will run it away. 𝗬𝗂𝗧, I just assumed it was 𝗬𝗂𝗧 because it's Jace. But, of course, it's 𝗬𝗂𝗧. Goes down to 𝗬𝗏𝗔. He does not have a teleport.
Him there.
Yep. And
no, he...
𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗧 is in a lot of trouble as he goes down. The dragon was secured, but at what cost?
Very good play, cross-map play for GAM. They knew they could interrupt the teleport. In the end, 𝗬𝗂𝗧 actually lost his life for interrupting top lane teleport, but still the interrupt was so much more important to get the Pikachu away from his team. So in the end, another kill over to 𝗬𝗏𝗧, but the rest of the team is suffering. And in terms of gold, it's getting... further and further away. We're looking at a 3k gold lead, even though the kill score, of course, is 6-6. So there's a lot of gold hidden in stuff like shutdowns and stuff like platings, of course, first turret. But let's look at the fight again. Oh, we actually get to see. Yeah, okay. This is just him pressing E. Not very exciting. But yeah, good solo kill for 𝗬𝗏𝗧, just punishing the fact that 𝗬𝗂𝗧 had to go for the interrupt. Can't really fault 𝗬𝗂𝗧 too much for this. Feel like he had to do this, and Cannon, of course, is just strong enough to turn on him. He is the one hope, the one shining light, the one silver lining for 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏. But I feel like it's too far away. The horizon is getting more and more away from them. I can't really look at it anymore.
Are you saying that the ice they skate is getting pretty thin? The water's getting warm, so they might as well swim.
Yeah.
But are they all stars?
Good rhyme. Good rhyme. I like that.
I mean, it's not original. It's literally just All-Star by Smash Mouth. I know you. I'm guessing you don't know the song.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's the song.
Husband in a little bit of trouble.
in trouble, but he gets away. Oh, never mind. He might not, and he's all that glitters gold. It doesn't seem that way, because that shooting star just broke the mold. It's a song.
And now they even
from Shrek. Froggy ulting to clear the wave.
They even break. They even get the teleport out of Froggy and his ultimate too, which really didn't do much. It delayed the wave, one wave. But if he gets caught here, okay, lucky enough to get away.
Pillar goes up. The poke from Hin, and now 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗴 wants to find Slay, who is a little bit soloed out. Froggy's still here. Take a lot of damage. Style throws in the ult. Doesn't really do a huge amount. Now Froggy's getting soloed. Hin goes down, and 𝗦𝗶𝗴 is just saying, me get minions. His husband has arrived, but it doesn't matter. That's a double kill for 𝗬𝗏. He's got the chops going, and husband, he wants to try and get something back. Anything at all. But he won't.
Yeah, no ultimate, and suddenly cannon is useless. Yeah. So actually, Froggy's ultimate played a very big part there, because he actually delayed the push so the turret platings would fall before they could hit the turret. That is pretty important. But on the other hand, GAM also just extended the dive that way, and in the end got more kills or more gold than they would have gotten with all the turret platings falling. So not. Once again, 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗶 behind the play, and we are looking at a 5k gold deficit from their side. Even though they are sitting on 2 dragons, it's not going to help them win this game too much.
Nope. They just don't win team fights.
What do you think about the mid lane fiddlesticks experiment?
I actually think it's fine. I don't think that's the problem. I honestly don't. I think the problem is not setting up 𝗁𝗲𝗔 to carry, and Style is just not good enough. Style is a massive weak point here. I think the middle sticks, if inserted into the comp, does actually suit Froggy pretty well. It is a champion that he cannot die on. It doesn't have the roam potential that you love for Froggy. But fine, if you can't if you can't fit his Galio or something in, I'm fine with the middle stick. It just hasn't.
Yeah, I feel like
it's been a team comp issue.
As a champ, I think he's fine, but I feel like he's not the correct call for 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗶. As exactly from what we have seen from Style so far and what you just pointed out, he's just not the main carry of this team. I feel like, is there a fight?
Yeah, 𝗬𝗏 is going to be going down. You say, is there a fight? I'm not too sure. It was a bit more of just a slaughter as there's a shutdown. 𝗁𝗲𝗏 5-1. I know what you're saying. You need a bit more of a carry because of Style. Problem is Froggy's not your carry. It's actually the problem with the 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗶 team. The problem with the 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗶 team is that they kind of live and die by Style, which... But every day, 𝗁𝗲𝗏. Yeah, 𝗁𝗲𝗏 does this every game. 𝗁𝗲𝗏 doesn't have bad games. He just needs a team. So if Style plays really badly, 𝗁𝗲𝗏 can't do it.
Yeah, and sadly so far, it's not live and die by Style, it's die by Style, because so far he hasn't really shown much life.
Not a lot of living.
But I feel like Fiddlesticks would be a very cool champ for Cerberus, for example, where you have the hyper carry player Artemis behind him to actually offer the damage he needs behind him, right? So he can just buy a lot of space, engage from weird angles, and install a lot of fear in the enemy team. And then Artemis comes from behind with Ezreal, with Aphelios, with whatever he wants to play, and actually deal the damage. So I just feel like Fiddlesticks is not the correct read for 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗶. Of course, we only see stage games, so maybe in scrims they're super successful playing this style.
Yeah,
probably because they are pulling it out on stage, right? But I'm not convinced.
That, like, if you don't pick, ignore Fiddlesticks specifically, but what are you gonna do? Start picking Syndra for Froggy?
Yeah, I liked his Nico. I really liked his Nico.
Yeah,
gave him damage, but also control. That was a very cool champion.
I agree. I think his Nico should be utilized more. I would have loved to see his Nico this game, in fact. It would have been really good, layering it with the cannon. But yeah, it's just... The problem here is that they have picked up Style to be a carry, and he can't carry.
I think they are getting misreads because he's...
there comes an Ash ult, but Kiaya will just flash away instantly. And a big bit of damage. In comes 𝗁𝗲𝗏 on the side, but Fate's call has gotten him out of there. Now he's coming back in. Slay is doing it all! As 𝗁𝗲𝗏 goes gold after pressing R. And now he's trying to get out. He's got a double kill before going down. Can they keep this one going? 𝗕𝗂𝗏 doing well. It's 𝗬𝗧𝗧 again as he's gotten on the Jace 2 for 2.
It's still not over in teamfight. It's a lot closer than the last game. 𝗬𝗏 really does not want to lose this, but now, oh no. Oh no, 𝗏𝗏 as well.
Oh, 𝗬𝗧𝗏 goes down to the turret though, so 𝗏𝗏 at least gets something back. And now it's just Jisoo and Levi. 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗏𝗏 is here. Don't think he can 1v2. He can clear.
And every day, jokes on us. We thought the fight was over, but we were watching GAM play a game, okay? So it's not over until everyone is dead. And that includes both GAM players and 𝗳𝗏𝗏𝗹𝗏 players. So once again, we got fooled by them winning the fight initially, and then they just decided to go for a second round, which once again also ended in their favor. So fair play to them.
GAM makes my life very hard. You know, we've really been working on our handoffs, and I try and hand it off to you, and then you're like, I'm not picking up, the fight's not over. Keep it going, boy.
Get that back.
you got another 10 minutes of yelling.
I don't want that, go away.
Let's have a look at this replay.
Let's take a look at this fight. So the start, not too bad, was style. They sadly only really hit 𝗬𝗧𝗏, and he's able to flash away. And now 𝗏𝗏 is kind of invalidated on this fiddlesticks. Ult does not hit anyone. Style also no mana, so you can only auto attack. This is insane from Slay. This is so deep. Wow. You really try to get everything there. And 𝗬𝗏𝗏 is strong enough to get 2 kills back. This one, they would have been happier if this went to style. He really needs a little bit of gold, even though he's not performing. You still need your ADCs to have a little bit of follow-up damage, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, then we just see GAM styling a little bit here.
I mean,
probably not the best decision to go there without vision from him.
And back to live. The crow has been found, but he'll be okay. He's called in the boys, in fact, a whole storm of them, as he's going forward, draining away 𝗕𝗂𝗏 and Slay on the run. Hin is here for bubbles, but 𝗬𝗧𝗏 is dead. I'm not even... That happened down in the bot lane. I think once again, 𝗬𝗏𝗏 went to interrupt the teleport and paid for it with his life, but he's dying for his team's sins. Hin goes gold. He's all right. Now they're turning it around. An enchanted crystal arrow doing well. Levi throws out that neurotoxin. He won't get bound up. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 draining, but he's still very, very low. He needs to find a way out, and does. It's a close fight.
1-0 across the map. Yeah. So that was actually a very good play for 𝗳𝗏𝗏𝗹𝗏. Super close, of course. They could have lost everyone there as well. In the end, in terms of objectives, it's still a 1-for-1 trade. Well, what happened down bot lane? Yeah, okay, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 once again tried to interrupt. Wow, 𝗬𝗏𝗏 won that from that HP total, but of course he's full AP. Close call. That was very, very close. And I feel like 𝗬𝗏𝗏... Once again, 𝗬𝗏𝗏 not really on the greatest game when it comes to stats, but yeah, he had to interrupt the teleport again. You really need to deal with 𝗬𝗏𝗏 because he's the biggest threat, so can't really fault him for going for the interrupt there. And afterwards, it was super close.
I don't even think it's can't fault him. I think it's praise him. That was the right call.
Yeah.
It was 100%
the right call. Yeah.
It
doesn't look great on your scoreboard, of course.
Yeah, sure, but lots of things don't look great on the scoreboard. But it was definitely the right call. GAM stacking up spears on this dragon. The Buffalo do want to contest it. They haven't gotten the dragon for a long time. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 goes in with the ult. Jisoo is just hitting the dragon. 𝗬𝗏𝗏 going in. He's on top of 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏. They get that kill. But he's only... The slicing lash from one person isn't really enough. Style's gone down. It's a double kill for the Renekton. 𝗕𝗂𝗏 charging. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 will be the next. There's the triple kill. Uh-oh...
Yeah, this should be very easy Baron now for GAM. This is the decisive team fight they wanted to have to finally break open the game. They already were the 5k gold advantage, so they really only needed one fight where 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 messed something up or they got a good drop on 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏. This fight, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 definitely messed up his ultimate way too early on the trigger finger there. Didn't only hit 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏, and 𝗬𝗏𝗏 is not the main carry in this game for once. So this time around, very good execution for GAM. They get the dragon, they get the Baron. Probably. Unless 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 can...
No, I don't think so. Even 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 can't do the heroics. He gets a 1-for-1 that he should never get. But it is the Baron secured. Once again...
There we go. And now Now it's an 8k gold lead, 2 dragons. They've stopped the dragon snowball. They are very far ahead on items. No one really deals damage apart from 𝗂𝗂.
I think I mentioned something on our podcast, and you called me out for being a bit too harsh. I said that this Buffalo lineup is 𝗂𝗂 and 4 corpses tied to his arms. Need I say more than the scoreboard? 150404.
Yeah, 𝗦𝗶𝗴cie is having a good series.
Fair enough. 𝗦𝗶𝗴cie, okay.
Maybe it's only 3 corpses today.
3 corpses and 1 unconscious 𝗦𝗶𝗴cie.
Oh man.
Like, I mean, it's harsh. Okay, obviously I'm being hyperbolic. It's harsh, but at the same time, is it wrong?
Yeah, it doesn't look wrong this game at least, and I'm just so disappointed in 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗵. From watching their games, I can definitely see potential, but there's still so much going wrong from comps to execution in game, especially when it comes to carry play from 𝗀𝗏𝗺gy and Style. And I really thought this would be one of our top teams coming into the season, looking at their very strong play in 𝗬𝗺cie Cup. Even Style looked good in 𝗬𝗺cie.
Yeah, he looked great.
Even that goes wrong. So I'm just very disappointed so far, and I hope they can pick it up for the second half of the split, because this is a very, very bad start. 1-3. They played some not so great teams. GAM actually coming in for 4-4 in terms of game score. Ow, that hurt.
It did. I mean, I think you've got to be.
They lost to OPG.
Yeah. You've almost got to be looking at a new ADC at the midway of the split, because Style, we were excited about him because, yeah, he did look good in the preseason 𝗬𝗺cie Cup, but none of it has translated to the stage. He's the big problem. I don't like blaming a rookie because they're a rookie, but if you're a championship contender, all 5 players have to pull their weight.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like 𝗦𝗶𝗴cie and 𝗀𝗏𝗺gy also haven't contributed much so far this season, so definitely not all the blame on Style, but he is a big problem. He is for sure one of the biggest problems, especially in this meta where ADC matters so much. I mean, we literally just saw 2 hours ago the best player in the VCS right now dominating on ADCs, right? So this is a very stark difference. Of course, both teams not fielding the best ADCs, but even 𝗎𝗔 is looking so much better this game, from level 1 to all the teamfight execution.
𝗎𝗔 looks great. Like, we haven't really talked about him much this game because he's just kind of quietly doing 𝗬𝗺 things, but he's 5-1-7.
Absolutely. And his coordination with 𝗧𝗏 has actually surprised me positively, where 𝗧𝗏 gets super aggro in the face of 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗵 and then gets pulled out again, or even thrown even deeper into them.
Something we actually haven't noted, because we weren't focusing on the bot lanes too much. Think about when 𝗎𝗎 was actually playing. What was banned every game?
Yeah, 𝗬𝗏. 𝗬𝗏 is his main champ.
Every game when 𝗬𝗏 was dog shit. And now 𝗬𝗏's great.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very good 𝗬𝗏 player.
I'm actually not surprised 𝗎𝗎's popping off on 𝗬𝗏 right now.
It's quite surprising looking at this game and looking at the kill score at the same time. It's only 5 they are only 5 kills ahead, but 10k gold. And every single fight has looked like it's 𝗂𝗏 against 9 players. They still, and to be fair, looking at the kill score, it also reflects that 𝗂𝗏 has 10 of his 13 teams, 13 kills. So
I mean, 𝗀𝗏gy's almost getting Flame Horizoned.
What a surprise!
The Buffalo.
Yeah, there isn't really much we can talk about in terms of how does 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗵 get back into this game. Please construct a way where they win this game. That there isn't really. There really isn't one.
A sudden
𝗂𝗏 level 16.
𝗂𝗏 presses R. And it happens in real life and breaks all of GAM's computers.
Yeah, basically, yeah. At least he's level 16 now. He's 4 items deep. He is super, super strong. But Kennen is not a hyper carry. He doesn't really have the damage to kill everyone 1v5. So I don't see it. I really can't see it happening.
I do not have
sad to see.
But who knows? Maybe. As GAM is now looking at the 4 Inferno Drake Soul. They're going to be dealing an absolutely disgusting amount of damage.
Imagine that Jace poke with 4 Infernal Soul. Four Infernal Drake,
What?
Infernal Soul.
Is that bugged? Does
Ooh.
Fiddlesticks have 9 AP at the moment?
I mean, he has no AP
Yeah, he's
items.
got no AP
He probably
items,
went
yeah.
1 AP
Yeah,
rune. So yeah, that
that's
makes sense.
pretty funny. I just think it's funny that he has, at 28 minutes, he has 9 AP.
9 AP. Yeah, nice.
What do you...
We are dealing no damage whatsoever on the side of Saigon Buffalo. Also, once again, Style opts him to go for a defensive item third, when his team is severely lacking damage.
Uh-huh.
I hate it. Please, just go IE.
Yeah,
it's not that hard to build IE third item. Like, please.
It needs to happen. Style kind of losing... I mean, he's not losing this game to the Shopkeeper. The Shopkeeper's kind of just getting an assist.
Yeah,
but it's definitely not a good sign.
So Baron is spawning in 9 seconds, and there's absolutely no way Saigon Buffalo can contest this. They have no good flank wards for 𝗂𝗂 to come in and maybe turn a miracle fight at Baron. So this should just be a pretty free Baron. We're kind of in a little bit of a weird limbo spot in the game where nothing can happen because all the big objectives are not up. I mean, Baron, yes, but Baron doesn't really matter. It's all about the soul and the Elder Dragon later on. So I feel like we're in for a few more minutes before GAM can close this out, because look at the composition. The siege is pretty bad.
You could almost say we're in some sort of state. Some sort of lull state.
But we know the lull state in the VCS is always the omega lull state, so spam your omega lulls.
Very true. But 𝗦𝗶𝗴cie going forward, they want to try and get onto Dia 1. They do get the slow, but that'll be about it.
Amazing. Good effort.
And they lose a tower.
In the meantime, bot lane, something is happening.
Yep.
I'm not sure why Saigon Buffalo is trying to group here. They can't contest Baron, and Baron doesn't really do much. They need to contest the next dragon.
They're just going to get it in him.
Yeah.
Get the tower.
Giant's achieving more on the side lane than Baron would give them, so probably not a good call to contest the Baron if you're losing more on the other side of the map anyway.
And that just shows, like, just for the record, that just shows how little information the Buffalo had there that Froggy threw that E towards Baron. There was no one close to Baron at the time, and they had no idea. He's now been caught out.
Yeah, they have Ash.
Yeah, just throw the Hawk.
They have the freest vision in the game.
Oh,
and now you actually spotted the Baron.
Yeah, but again, it is a smite and a rend. Levi keeping Baron engaged. It does start to regen a little bit. Inhib goes down in the bot side, and he thinks he can fight this cannon. He's going for it. He's got an early health lead. He goes gold. Can 𝗂𝗂 win this one out? It's a big one. He can. And there is... Now we come back to the Baron. There's a lot of damage. That is a good showstopper there from Slay. Froggy on the front line trying to get it done. But look at this. Style doesn't deal damage. Dia 1 just tanked him. 𝗂𝗂 has arrived. He does not have Slicing Maelstrom, but he does have the zippity zaps as he gets the instant double kill. And now 𝗬𝗎's on the run. 3 members of GAM are dead. Oh boy, oh boy.
Loses this game every day. He really wants to win, even though his team is inting him. Can he get 2 more?
Absolutely, he potentially could. He's diving forward. He goes gold. Dia 1 waiting with a stun, but Style will get the kill. And then it's 𝗬𝗎 going down as well. GAM's been aced. The Buffalo
big shutdowns in the pockets of Style. He can actually afford the IE now if he chooses to go for it. 𝗂𝗂, just check your ADC's item build and tell him what to build. You wear an ADC main. Please, prevent this tragedy from happening. No GA, please. But they will get the Baron, which is much more important, of course. They lost the inhibitor, so in the end, the trade is still okay, kind of, for GAM. The really important objective now is the dragon, and there's a question about the timing, because Saigon Buffalo needs to reset here, and look at the dragon.
It's too late.
It's already started.
𝗬𝗎 just needs to commit to this one, I think. There's no smite.
And Elliot's on his way.
But it's just going to go down too quickly. This
is
going to be
super
Infernal
low.
Soul. This is Infernal Soul. There's no way. The set zoning is too good. Slay's in the right position. And GAM get Infernal Soul. That's going to do a lot more for them than a Baron is going to do for the Buffalo. And we saw a bright spark. And I think it has been, once again, snuffed out.
It's such a difficult call to make as a team. You look at the Infernal Drake and you say, oh, this Infernal Drake is so annoying for us because it doesn't do anything for us, but it's such a big objective for the enemy team. So it feels bad to not go for Baron, especially with the fight ending in top side where it's super natural for you to just go for Baron. But as a pro team, I think you have to be able to make the call that Baron is not going to achieve much, and you need to prevent the enemy team from getting the permanent soul. To be fair, one turret already secured, and they're trying to go for more with this Baron. They're trying to group up.
I think
Look at the side lanes.
GAM doesn't need to do anything until it's at the base, right?
Yeah. They can give up 2 turrets. It's not a big deal. Now,
as recalled, the base is broken. In him going down, we could have a fateful fight. There's a teleport being used. There's the enchanted crystal arrow. Is it happening? They're just going for the base race. This is a bad call, GAM. You can't do this. Husband's got 2. Husband's got 3. And they've got the game. It's a quarter kill. And they've done it. The Buffalo take a game they had no right to.
What? What was that? What was that call, GAM? Why? This game was so easy for you to win. How can you throw that? That is so ridiculous.
I don't know why we don't have your way, Cam, but continue. Just go. Go off, boys. I'll fix it.
Woo!
Vinnie, what was that?
So as you were complaining about in the last game and this game, Ashe built damage. When she backed after the double kill, she immediately bought Last Whisper, the Mortal Reminder.
She actually bought damage.
Mortal Reminder and a BF sword, and you could see instantly the amount of damage just shot straight up there. And then, 𝗂𝗂𝗃 they decided, we're going to keep doing the split push thing, but with the extra damage from 𝗂𝗃 and Slay, that was, Jace doesn't match that.
Man, I really didn't see a world where they would win this game, but GAM made it possible, I guess. What?
What?
Yes.
Someone clip that, please. Someone clip that ending. That was really close, by the way. Dia1 was on the Nexus.
𝗂𝗃𝗃 was actually still had a turret to go.
Sorry, Kia. Oh, did he? Okay.
He still had a Nexus turret to go. He got 1 down, but it was
All right, boys. MVP, not even a discussion. 𝗁𝗲.
I mean,
obviously.
This is where we really.
It's whoever made that call, because my God.
This is almost one of those games where where even if 𝗁𝗲 had lost, I'd almost consider still giving him MVP.
It's one of those games where you actually consider giving him all the points for series. This is. This was quite something, and I really didn't see a future where they could win this game, but apparently it's through a base race.
Open your third eye your way, and in it you will see the base race. But you know what you guys will see in about 6 minutes? A third game. Will it be another ridiculous one, or will it come back down to a plane of existence we can actually comprehend? I don't know, but what I do know is that 𝗁𝗲's going to smurf because he's been doing it all goddamn day. Join us in about 6 minutes to find out. I'm excited. You guys are excited. Don't go anywhere. See you soon. Well, boys, it's been an interesting series. We've had 2 games now of GAM taking on 𝗬𝗂𝗧 And Jesus Christ, my vocal cords are shot, my head hurts, my brain is in another plane of existence. But we have a game 3. So break it down.
Brain needed so far for the series, so it's very unfortunate that our setup is 2 analysts and 1 play-by-play caster, because I feel like you could make use of a little bit of assistance there.
I feel like
So
we could have
not
got
much analysis to be had.
we could have gotten a couple monkeys from the zoo and just.
I mean, I can absolutely offer my services as scream. I might not be very coherent, but I can shout, "Things are happening!" And that's about all you'll get out of me.
The monkey is definitely right here. But let's crack on. We move past the insanity that was Game 2 into Game 3. We never thought. Looking at Game 2, how have the Buffalo got us here? Well, that's a topic for another day. How are they going to get this win? Can they do it? Or is this going to be GAM?
They absolutely don't want to repeat what they did last time. I mean,
Please no.
obviously they won, but they had such a strong cannon, and then they tried. Basically, they just kept grouping up and didn't try to engage or anything. They just grouped up and let nothing happen. Where they should have set up a 1-3-1, or at the very least a 4-1, and bounce between those side lanes. Get what's his name? 𝗦𝗶𝗴𝗎. Get 𝗦𝗶𝗴𝗎 to bounce between the mid lane and whatever lane 𝗧𝗂𝗏's in, and just use that pressure. Don't team fight. You had such an advantage. He had 10 kills. Then he ended the game with 17. 𝗧𝗏 did
kills.
He had
17
kills.
3
and 3.
I think that's the biggest solo carry performance I've ever seen. Across every game of League of Legends I've watched.
It's up there.
I can't think of a bigger solo.
Definitely up there. That was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous. And to Vinny's point, I would like to add that also their team fight setup was okay. In terms of just going for team fights, I feel like is okay with that comp. But they tried to teleport 𝗧𝗏 in. 𝗧𝗏, who had all the kills, all the gold, all the advantages, or none of the disadvantages, to be correct, because the team was very far behind, and he was just stopped in the side lane every single time. So they took the 4v4 fight. Of course, they lost because all the gold was on 𝗧𝗏, and tried it again and again. So I feel like if you want to go for team fights, which is okay, I feel like in the end they won with a team fight, right? So you need 𝗧𝗏 there at the start. So please play better around your teleport setups and how you approach team fights.
We do have to pray for that to happen. GAM not altering their bans. They're not going to change it to reflect the 𝗧𝗏 situation. Just the Wukong ban for him.
And I don't think they really need to, because now they have counterpick this time.
I do agree.
So hopefully we don't see
Ezreal open. 𝗁𝗏 again. Okay.
Getting played.
Okay.
𝗂𝗏 first picking 𝗁𝗏 for style. So most likely the attack speed 𝗁𝗏 again, which he has shown us 2 times already. What are we going to see from GAM? Do they fall into his trap and go full engage, and then he just plays backline 𝗁𝗏, or do they actually draft against the attack speed 𝗁𝗏? That's a very interesting thought, because this is basically 2 champs picked at once. So very hard to wrap your mind around.
Yeah, and with the Ashe pick, I think if you want any sort of lane presence, you sort of have to go the lethality 𝗁𝗏. But then if GAM decides to go for any sort of tankier composition, which they're probably not going to do because it's GAM, you'd have to default back to attack speed and give up a lot of lane pressure. So I think, considering it is GAM, and you're not going to be running into a 4 tank comp like what Buffalo tried to run, you're probably safe to go the lethality.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I like a good bot lane. 𝗁𝗏, Spoods.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, that bot lane basically cannot be matched.
Also, I have to say I'm a really big fan of 𝗂𝗏 adaptations in jungle, because last week 𝗁𝗏 played Kindred and Grace only, and they played double ADC comps with very squishy setups. Sometimes they executed well, sometimes it looked very badly, or looked very bad. So I feel like I like to see 𝗁𝗏 on the very boring tank junglers and give space to 𝗧𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏gy to do whatever they can do. So far it's only 𝗧𝗏, but maybe 𝗏𝗏gy can step up for the third very important game here.
And GAM's going for more or less what they went for in the first game. Obviously they don't have the 𝗁𝗏, but there's sort of a core of a poke comp.
When is the team going to start banning Jace?
They're getting Jace every single game.
I think they have like nearly 100% pick rate on Jace.
Probably when there aren't as many OPs to ban.
Yeah, true.
Jace's,
you can
obviously, Jace is manageable. It's obvious they're obviously good at it, but it's definitely manageable.
We just saw on screen the Bard stats, and he has a 30% pick rate and 100% win rate. So that's a good omen for Saigon Buffalo. They've picked the 100% win rate champion, and him so far has looked great on the Bard as well. So let's see what he can do.
The Fiddlesticks ban. So Froggy's going to be forced to play something different. I
Froggy
would
can
like
play
to see him on
Galio.
Nico.
Or Galio.
Galio is also an
Or
option.
TF. I mean, his TF was good as well. So I actually think you hurt yourself banning the Fiddlesticks that looked absolutely useless in the last 2 games. So
I don't think
not the biggest fan.
That's so much better.
Yeah, the set support. Slay's very good at it, but set Ash is asking for trouble against that bot lane. I mean, I personally, I like Froggy on things like the Galio, Nico as well, because he doesn't have to contest mechanically in lane. TF, you kind of actually have to play as a mid laner. Looks like they're going to go the TF, so Froggy is not going to listen to me. I think mechanically, Dia1's got him. Whoa, okie dokie. Now this would be giving 𝗂𝗔𝗠 the carry pants. Or the carry legs, I suppose.
It's blind too, so
it's
risky.
Oh, yes!
Ooh,
Yes! 𝗂𝗔𝗠.
So let's see what Kia's answer to that is. I mean, okay, we'll go on to the bot lane for a little bit because you couldn't really contest the bot lane unless you went for something like a Zyra sort of pick, which is probably never going to happen. So the Thresh is good. It scales about as well, if not better, than the Bard, and it's good safety. And I'm a little bit disappointed in that, unless
Does that go mid? Not sure.
No, I don't think so.
You don't want to pick Jace into a car. Oh, it's actually a decent matchup.
Yeah, but you definitely don't want to play Renekton into Twisted Fate.
Yeah, I think that's a bad choice here. So I personally like Twisted Fate for Froggy. I think he played that well last time he showed it. So I'm a fan. And he can also set up now with a very good roam to the top side, or good roam ability to the top side. So I like this. Last time 𝗂𝗂 played 𝗂𝗃, he got a lot of kills as well, but wasn't able to close out the game. So let's see if he can do it this time around.
It looked alarmingly like last game, but without an insane base rate.
Yeah, it's true.
Like 𝗂𝗂, once again, I'm going to make a statement. And you guys can flame me if you want. I think 𝗂𝗂's 𝗂𝗃 is the best thing in the VCS I've ever seen. I haven't seen a player champion match, like player champion in the VCS as mastered as 𝗂𝗂's 𝗂𝗃. He's one of the best 𝗂𝗃s I've ever seen. Like globally, he's one of the better 𝗂𝗃s I've ever seen. They're not the best. Not the best.
On a mechanical level, I can agree.
Yeah, I'm talking mechanical. I'm talking about mechanical.
Yeah, on a mechanical level, yes, but Yado's Twisted Fate still holds a special place.
Yeah, I love.
I like Levi's 𝗂𝗃 still. I'm a big fan of his 𝗂𝗃. He was so insane on that pick.
It's true.
3 levels ahead every single game.
From a mechanical point of view, this guy on 𝗂𝗃 is absolutely insane.
That's true.
Now, Vinnie, this one's an unpredictable one. I don't even want to make you give a prediction because it's not fair, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm a cruel bastard. So who's going to win? And give us your final thoughts.
So I think the counter pick top lane could have been utilized better, and because of that... Oh, no.
Come on, give us your prediction and skedaddle, mate. What's it going to be?
I was going to go Buffalo, but that rune choice, I don't like it.
You going GAM?
I think my predictions at the start of the week were Buffalo, so I'm going to go with those.
Yeah, all right. I think all 3 of us actually picked Buffalo. But it's just you and me now, Yulwei. You answer the question I just asked. Why has he got lead?
Apparently, he can only play lethal tempo Varus because every single game he has loaded to the Rift, it's always lethal tempo. So this one was very surprising. I really did not expect this to happen this game. Oh, they want to replicate what the enemy team did.
Ooh, and they land the hook. The Bard is in a little bit of trouble, but no, I tell a lie. There is no trouble to be found. Jisoo's actually
Bard level
taking a
1.
lot as he is slapping it about, lands the stun and everything. And, well, that was
Bard level 1 is one of the strongest champs in the game. He is insane. He has basically 2 abilities with his passive available, and his Q deals a lot of damage and has a very, very annoying side effect. So that was probably not the best choice for Slay to try and trade back into the Bard. And now there's a very nice lane positioning for Style and Hin early on, which is already way more than they got last game, where they were dead already at this point in the game. So good start for 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗵.
Okay, but we didn't really crack on with the point about the lethal tempo. Does Style just not play 𝗬𝗨𝗨, which I would argue is the easier build?
It's true.
Like,
yeah,
I can play
𝗬𝗨𝗨
because you deal your damage from 2 screens away. It's not hard.
Yeah, I agree. It's quite confusing to see him only go for this build. It seems maybe their analysts also insist that this is a better build, which would be strange considering the global meta.
Their analysts need to be fired.
Is what I'm saying. Who knows? It's quite surprising. Of course, it brings a very good amount of late game consistent damage. And to be honest, in this ADC matchup, it's a little bit better compared to what he went in last time he played. I think he played against Aphelios, and then there was Varus DPS against Aphelios DPS, and we all know which way that goes. But against Ashe DPS, I think Varus can compete, so it's not quite as bad, but I still don't really understand why he would prefer this choice. Maybe he just is not comfortable on
There's no tank on GAM either. Who's building armor?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I feel like I hate to heap blame on the rookies, and this is definitely not all Styles' fault that we're at a game 3, and honestly, we shouldn't be in a game 3. Buffalo shouldn't have won last game. 𝗂𝗓𝗏 deserved to win, but the team didn't. And it kind of is just constantly coming back to Style, and him just not being good enough. Him making bad decisions. A lot of bad decisions.
Last game, he actually adapted his build path, so maybe he has finally learned a little bit more. It's still a very confusing decision here, of course. I agree with you. But let's see how it goes. So far, the laning phase, at least in terms of trading and in terms of lane pressure, has gone very, very well for 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗆's side in the bot lane. Mostly due to Hin's strong trade early on. But yeah, look at the CS lead. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign. While 𝗂𝗂𝗏 understandably is struggling in top lane against 𝗬𝗂𝗏 as Renekton. 𝗬𝗂𝗏 is very, very proficient on this champion, and 𝗂𝗂𝗏 needs some more time to get his Q to levels where he can actually use it twice every minute and not once.
Yeah, I mean, 𝗬𝗏𝗏 doesn't win lanes. She didn't, even when 𝗬𝗏𝗏 was like super dominant and super broken, she still didn't even really win that many lanes. She went even. But she was often picked.
Yeah, she's very safe.
She was actually often used to cover bad top laners because you just never died. You couldn't die on 𝗬𝗏𝗏 when she was broken. Not quite the same now, but we'll move on as GAM is taking the first dragon, but I think Hin and Style have something to say about that. A stun lands, but Levi will still hit the smite. In they come. The teleport as well. Magical Journey will not be good enough. Style in the middle of the enemy team, just free firing. 𝗬𝗏𝗏's getting chomped. Is currently a 2-for-1. Levi should be going down to the 𝗬𝗏𝗏, but 𝗬𝗏𝗏 gets one back, and this is all gone wrong. 𝗂𝗏𝗏 is in the smoke, but Jisoo should find him. Froggy's gone down, and I think GAM might come away from this one with 5 kills. Can 𝗂𝗏𝗏 actually?
The dragon on top of that.
𝗂𝗏𝗏 finds a way out. So 4 kills and a dragon. Shit.
Man, these early games and the last 3 games are all just pure chaos. It's everyone agrees to just take the fight. Very impressive start from Hin. I thought the flash Q was super bold, but also it landed, and the stun was a good start to the fight, but maybe a little bit too aggressive because Hin was turned on, and then he just instantly died to all the pressure. Also very good flay from Slay. But I mean, last game we started with a big advantage for SGB, and in the end, SGB won. In the first game we started with a big advantage for SGB, and in the end, GAM won. I don't really want to project too much for the rest of the game. Too much is happening all the time.
Yeah.
But for sure, it's a very nice start for GAM. They get the first dragon to the most dragon-reliant champion in the game. Of course, Shyvana getting extra stats for dragons. And they jump off to a 1k gold lead.
Yeah, the dragon is, shockingly enough, quite reliant on dragons. Ooh,
Here's the counterplay.
Here comes the dive, the first Twisted Fate ult, something we often talk about, and this should be the easiest dive in the world, and Slay goes down. So, first Twisted Fate ult is a clean dive and a kill.
Who even took turret aggro there? Oh, it's not over yet.
Oh, it is
Sound
definitely not
slow.
over, as there's the Pingu in the journey. Jisoo might have overestimated himself there, and Style gets a kill, and we're back to 4 for 4.
Why does this keep happening every single game? One team makes a good choice, makes a good play, and then the other team just instantly responds with, okay, DR1, calm down.
Okay,
Calm down.
He's going nuts. He's still going.
He's getting fishing.
He's still going. He might find him. He's got some bait on that hook, and Froggy's biting, and it's gonna be the big old dragon that reels him in. There we go.
Analysis is very useful in this game.
Yeah.
You can really see all the plays coming. It's
Can you please do your
yeah,
job as a colorcaster? Can you add some color? What's going on?
Do we need some more gray? Because I think we can offer some gray. All the players are definitely experiencing a lot of gray screens.
Yeah, we can get some
4
red.
to 5 in kills already at 8 minutes.
This is insane. What is going on?
Nicely played for Levi and DR1 to get 1 kill in the mid lane. Froggy did really not expect all the damage from DR1, who hit every single skill shot. But there's no time to analyze that, because we are heading to the next objective, and it seems like 𝗁𝗂𝗵𝗴𝗺 is so far out of the play. They reset their bot lane. The enemy bot lane didn't even try to respond. So this one should pretty much be free. Also, Levi and DR1 in base right now. So very good objective call. And this is something we praised everyone but GAM about in this season so far. Most of the VCS teams stepped their game up when it comes to objective control. So it's good to see 𝗁𝗂𝗵𝗺 continue the trend, and they definitely are in dire need of some gold. Look at the gold totals. Already 1.5k gold down again.
Absolutely. Though, of course, being 1.5k at 9 minutes is not the worst GAM can do to you. 𝗁𝗂𝗵𝗺, honestly, might be happy with that one, particularly with the Shelly secured. Style, actually getting off to a good start this game. He wants to silence the haters. He wants to shut us up. You know what? If he can do it, fair enough. Fair play to him. He has
Absolutely. We want to see him succeed. I was so hyped about this player.
Yeah.
I wrote a pretty passionate summary on him because I thought he looked so great on the Pulsefire tournament, especially also the finals, where in the end, 𝗁𝗂𝗵𝗺 fell to GAM, but they showed up big time. For example, the only team to get wins against Levi's Fiddlesticks. That looked ridiculous there. So I am I'm pretty sad to see 𝗁𝗂𝗵𝗺 struggle this much, but maybe this is the turning point. This could really be the series that establishes them in the upper echelon of teams, and maybe Stahl can get rid of his jitters, of his nervous, anxious nature that he shows on stage so far.
Absolutely. There's a lot of people around this bot lane. As the dragon has spawned, it makes a lot of sense. They drop it. They drop the Herald for the plates and the pressure. And dragon will be the next objective.
And teleport's available, so this is 4v4.
Ooh, Levi goes into dragon form, but the smite is good for 𝗁𝗂𝗵𝗺. It's 1-to-1 in dragons. Now where the kills will go. Hin has gone down. The Tempered Fate was alright, but oh no, they're grouped up against an AoE damage team. This isn't a good idea here. 𝗁𝗂𝗵𝗺 falls. Style takes a tag. They're accelerated through the gate. Froggy flashes the wall. He should be safe now. But it's 2 kills for a dragon. Oh no!
3 kills.
𝗁𝗂𝗵𝗺, don't do this to me, baby. Oh, DR1 has found Style.
Never mind, 4 kills.
Oh, but there's the flash away. Will the shock blast hit? Nope, there was no gate. The Style escapes. Chaos. Chaos in the VCS.
Yeah, and SGB is once again trying to go toe to toe with GAM in terms of early skirmishing. Really, something they shouldn't do. Look at their team composition. Their team composition is based on abusing cooldowns, on using mobility and using map movement to win the game. They are not the AoE team fighting composition the other side has to offer. Ashe, with all her volley, is very strong early on, dealt a lot of damage in the last team fight. 𝗬𝗏 just jumping in, activating his W, using his Q AoE damage. 𝗦𝗏, of course, even early on with a lot of damage. So that was just a very bad choice to fight there and to fight at that moment as well. So once again,
𝗦𝗏 going for
what?
a 1v2 actually does enough damage there to make Style scared, and they don't push the wave in. That was smart. There was no danger of
preventing the
dying.
turret from falling.
Yeah, that was really smart by 𝗦𝗏.
And honestly, 𝗦𝗏 using his ultimate doesn't really do much against Shyvana. Meliodas trying to find the good angle there, but I think he was spotted on the ward.
He was. 𝗬𝗧 is backing right off. Things have come down.
There's another one.
Twisted Fate ult. Where's that going? No, he's just backed it off.
Yeah, he saw 𝗦𝗏 approaching, so he didn't really want to follow up on the play. It's very dangerous to dive this strong Renekton that is already sitting on Black Cleaver. So
Style
probably
uses
the good call.
cleanse. He's now in the Tempered Fate. Hin.
Oh
My god, that was one of the worst chains of corruption I've ever seen. And now the bot lane's in so much trouble. Hin flashes away from all the damage, but not 𝗬𝗏's, as 2 kills picked up for nothing. For Saigon Buffalo, sorry, for GAM. What am I saying? And now they're looking for 2 more as they want to go under the tower. Shock Blast will soften up Froggy. Can 𝗂𝗔𝗏 and Froggy get away? There's the gold card, but it might be too little too late. He goes gold. There's a lantern there to get him out after. Ooh, the Shock Blast misses, but the auto attack doesn't. And GAM is in full control. And I think we might already be looking for a miracle. If you're a Buffalo.
Another one who wants to dance.
Yeah,
there's Meliodas.
Like Meliodas, he definitely wants to tango. He starts off well, dips him low, but then drops him on the spin as he goes 1 for 1.
That's the worst feeling.
Yep.
Well, this game is once again very quickly devolving into chaos, and GAM thrives in the chaos. I'm not sure why Saigon Buffalo is always handshaking and taking those fights. They are way too keen to get in the mix to fight when their composition really shouldn't be about that. A very good outplay from 𝗬𝗀. I want to praise him because we haven't seen him much on stage, and well. He is the substitute ADC. For some reason, didn't start in the first game today, but his play in the last 2 games has really surprised me. He looks super good, and his reaction, his flash over the Bard stun, won them the fight there, together with the Bard actually trolling his ultimate.
𝗬𝗀's making a very good case to beat the starting game.
Yeah, absolutely. He's looking great, and his synergy with 𝗧 also looking on point.
Absolutely. So, what will we see now? GAM.
6k gold lead at 14 minutes.
It's brutal. It's brutal. It's GAM.
And look at the individual leads here. It's a 1k gold lead in the jungle, a 2k lead in the top lane for 𝗬𝗧 over 𝗂𝗂's. After 𝗂𝗂's insane performance in Game 2, 𝗬𝗧 is definitely trying to shut him up and try to get his title as the best top laner back. There's a lead.
I don't know if we've given it away.
Fair enough.
I think we were still on the fence about who is the best top laner, but it's hard to call. It really is. 𝗂𝗂's very, very good, but 𝗬𝗧 is just rock solid. He's not as flashy. Damn, is he good.
Indeed. Man, all the items coming in. Look at these item power spikes. Almost 2 items for 𝗬𝗏, 2 items completed for 𝗦𝗏. He's level 11. He's higher than his own mid laner in levels. He's 2 levels above the enemy mid laner.
Yeah.
He's highest level in the game, by the way. He's higher CS than anyone else almost. So this is ridiculous 𝗦𝗏 pathing performance once again. This is where he excels. This is where he is better than any other jungler in the league. And he gets another dragon.
Going to be a Rift Herald traded for a Mountain Drake. Of course, Mountain Drake. Ooh, as the arrow lands across the map. Can they get onto 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗶, or will he be able to get to the magical journey? This is Saving Private 𝗦𝗶. Can he get out? He does, but they're all just going to pile on through. A risky decision, but you know, GAM, risks are their middle name as they charge on through. 𝗬𝗂𝗏 in the smoke, trying to find an opening into this fight. 𝗧 on the front line, doing a lot of zoning. 𝗂𝗏𝗏 now dives into the back. He spins, he chops, and it's going to be all GAM all the time. And the Saigon Buffalo are trying to escape. Levi puts his hands on his head as he realizes he made a bit of a mistake, and he goes down. Dia1's got a double. He wants a triple. I don't know about
very
this one,
deep, son.
I think maybe get out of there. And look at that reaction on the camera. He's furious. He's fuming with himself.
Oh, GAM was having so much fun with this game. That's good to see.
Yeah, that was a bit of trolling, obviously. But
That was a lot of trolling. From start to finish, the whole fight looked very trolly. But yeah, in the end, they still win the fight, and they get another. They don't get the objective, of course, but they still get so many more kills. They get pressure in mid lane. Look at the gold lead in the top. It's 7k at 17 minutes. This is the GAM we know. I'm not sure if we love it, but at least we definitely know this GAM, and they are back to dominate early games.
this is GAM once again as the villains of the VCS. They are a heel.
Yeah.
They are exactly... For those that don't know, there is a term in professional wrestling called a heel. They're the villains. I'll go back onto it as after this replay. Look at this, the arrow. Bang.
Look at how long this lasts. This is so long. He's just standing there forever. And this is, by the way, what he did there with the pillar is, I think, one of the best pillars I've ever seen. He interrupted Jace's Q.
Yeah, that's really
That is so insane.
But we see here,
it's
𝗬𝗂𝗏
very, very
is
hard.
trying to find a way to do something. Didn't actually hit the second half of the ult onto
No,
𝗂𝗏𝗏.
yeah, he missed that.
I don't think it would have
Could have been a kill on 𝗂𝗏𝗏.
But, and then we see
Would have been close.
a little bit of trolling. But,
And look at 𝗧. 𝗧's like, yeah, okay, yeah, you got to go and kill.
we are back
come
to
back with
live
us.
as Froggy is ulted in, but it is just going to be to help his team hold the tower. So what I was saying was there is a term in wrestling called a heel. The heels are the villains. The important thing is, though, is you don't just hate them. You love to hate them. And goddamn do I love to hate GAM. Because they're so good at... But they're also so bad.
It's very exciting to
But
watch,
here we
for
go,
sure.
we have a team fight. 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗏's taking a lot of damage. Froggy just gets kaboomed! That frog was put in the microwave, and 𝗦𝗶𝗏𝗏 will be joining him. And I think this one might be in the books.
Oh, there's the combination I wanted to see all game in the first game. Jace and AP Shyvana just landing one skill shot after the other and start dropping two. Oh,
Accelerated flame breath.
Oh, I like that. I like that. They need to shoot it at the same time, though.
Yeah.
I want to see the HP bar. Oh. Yeah, he's a one trick. He's the Jace one trick. He needs to land those to really justify the first pick and stuff for him, because he's only playing Jace this season.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a challenge for Dia1. Maybe it's trying to tell this team, okay, I want to get to the finals only playing Jace. Whenever I can.
Ban Jace. Kick the PC so it's broken if they ban Jace. No, but I mean,
8-2-9.
He's looking very good this game, and you know who's got him on his fantasy team? This guy.
Oh no!
It's the comeback. If I had to tell, I was going badly this week.
Guess who has the bot side of Saigon Buffalo on his fantasy team?
I know.
Oh no!
Oh dear!
Oh no! Great stat lines all around once again. 1-4-4, 2-4-3, and 1-4-5. That looks very promising for my fantasy points. Well, let's look at how GAM is going to close this game. 10k gold ahead. I think GAM is the most impressive team when it comes to accelerating gold leads out of nowhere, where they still are so good at snowballing games, as 𝗂𝗏𝗏 struggles to kill Herald in time, so at least one kill back. It's far from a perfect game, of course, because GAM playing perfect games is not really something they want to do. Yeah, they were close. They were close in the very first game they played on stage against EVOS. They were super close to getting the perfect game. Just giving up one turret, I think, or one dragon.
Yeah, I think there was one turret.
And speaking of dragons, there's another one biting the dust. Or getting bitten by the other dragon, I guess. More correct description.
It could be both. Shyvana biting.
I want to see the accelerated flame breath.
I do too.
That's
And there comes the enchanted crystal arrow. Style in some trouble. That tempered fate does absolutely nothing. He's trying to find a way out. He's broken some ankles and he's finding his way out, but it doesn't matter because in comes the nuke. Tactical nuke detected, as here it is, and that's a double kill for Levi. Tactical nuke detected? What did I just say? It's nuclear launch detected. Jesus Christ. Take away my StarCraft credentials, but that's 2 kills.
There's one analysis to be had for that team fight, and it's called AP Shyvana 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃.
We've got to start up a we had to get rid of all our clips, so we've got to get more AP Shyvana.
Yeah, we need new ones. Yeah, it's true.
As now 𝗏𝗏gy ults in. This is going to be the miracle fight at Baron, the instant cleanse out of DR1. 𝗏𝗏gy takes a little bit of damage.
Yeah, that was super necessary.
Yeah,
he needed to cleanse that one.
Super.
else he was in big danger.
5k health on the Baron, and Levi's got his ult back. He's going to be throwing him out again. And once more, the ghosts are here, and the nuclear launchers are in. 𝗏𝗏gy gets away from that one. Levi did kind of short it a little bit. He's on the run. They don't need to be chasing here. They could just take the Baron, but they want kills. This is GAM. They want the blood. They want the score. Can they kill him before the TP? Of course they can.
Nice steal from Jace. That would have been Shyvana's kill, of course, with the afterburn damage once the E actually hits the ground. Mm-hmm. But Jace steals it away, so that's a good competition between the two. It's definitely a better competition than SGB is giving GAM in this game.
Well, I mean, in that competition, who's Legolas and who's Gimli? Tempered Fate gets 3. The Baron is low. It's taken. 𝗂𝗏med in the backside. He's trying to put the world on his shoulders once more, but he does not have the absolute unit shoulders that 𝗬𝗂𝗃 has shown in the first game. Of course, he hasn't been doing it this game. Hasn't had to. DR1 and Levi are here. They're on the run. Here it comes, and kaboom! Ooh, big swing, no ding there, as 𝗂𝗏med gets away. But GAM got Baron.
Yeah, Guardian.
And GAM's going to get this game very soon. Oh, Slay.
Yeah, Guardian coming in handy there for him, preventing the lethal damage.
Oh, they tried to chase onto Slay, but they've fallen for one of the classic blunders, as now 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 will be the one taken down. And oh no. Look at that. Take notes,
journey. Style. This is how Ashbay deals damage. Take notes.
As now 𝗬𝗂𝗃 charging on forward. 𝗂𝗏med is here. 𝗏𝗏gy low. 𝗏𝗏gy dead. Jisoo gets that one. He flashes forward onto Style. He's going to get rinsed out, maybe. Can the Croc get him? Of course he can. There's never any question. 𝗬𝗂𝗃 now onto the Bard. It's another magical journey. The Pingus are flying. He gets stunned out of it, but he doesn't even care about the tower, and he'll finally take the lantern as Levi arrives and puts the Bard in the dirt.
Have you been play casting that last play? 2 minutes straight? 3 minutes straight? I'm not even sure.
Saying I was play-by-play casting that is generous.
That might be true. But, did you see there were multiple very funny moments? 𝗬𝗂𝗃 trolled Slay big time. Slay once again just tried to get his solo laner's lantern out, but instead once again his solo laner said, "Nah, I want to fight. I want to continue fighting."
Out? No. In.
This is the wrong direction, Slay. I need to go in. I'm not going to take any of those lanterns. Slay is always just standing there. Oh, guys, come on, guys. Can we just win this game now, please?
1-2-21. He is like Slay has been destroying.
Yeah. 11 casual, 11 KDA. We also have another 19 KDA. We have an undefined KDA for 𝗬𝗂𝗃, and even the KDAs for Gimli and Legolas are quite good. So I would say DR1 is probably Legolas because he has more kills right now, and Legolas gets a lot of those in the early part. So Gimli now has to catch up.
Okay,
Can
but
he get to 11?
The real question is anyone on Saigon Buffalo that one 𝗚𝗏𝗃 with the torch that runs in and blows up the bombs? Because that's important. Do they have that one hero 𝗚𝗏𝗃?
I mean, in the end, they still lose the 𝗚𝗏𝗃, that is. So
it's true, but they get close.
You know,
there's tension. Because at the moment, there's no dramatic tension. This is a really poorly structured film. The third act of this film has just been just one-sided, and there's just no dramatic tension.
Yeah, they messed that up a little bit. Blew all their material in the second part for the crazy swing.
It's Game of
They had
Thrones.
nothing left.
We're watching Game of Thrones. The
no,
start and the
don't
mid
remind
part
me.
were really
Don't
good. And
remind
then
me.
season 7 and 8 came out, and then everyone forgot Game of Thrones existed.
6 was such a good season, man.
Yeah.
I loved 6.
Yeah.
6 is my favorite Game of Thrones season, by the way.
One of the best.
That
I like the early
yeah.
ones personally. But regardless,
Yeah, that's fair.
let's talk League of Legends, not bad TV shows. As 𝗬𝗂𝗃𝗃 is diving in, 𝗧𝗏𝗏 dragons, and immediately goes gold. I think he was just trying to make a funny pose, as that is going to be a shutdown here for the Buffalo, but they're in a choke point. They don't want to be here. The bombs are coming out. The flame damage on the ground, forcing a flash. 𝗬𝗏𝗏, he's dipping, he's diving, but I don't think he's going to get out of this pool. Oh, never mind, he does. Okay, fine. Fair enough. But no, there it is. There's the flash E from the dragon. And I believe GAM might just be about to win this game.
Yeah, it's only 30 to 18 kills. You need to step your game up. We need 50 kills, GAM. Please, come on.
Jesus, do we? As the Nexus towers fall, it will be GAM taking what could be the most ridiculous series I have ever seen in the VCS. I'm sorry. They win 2-1 over the Saigon Buffalo. Woo! Boys.
God.
Boys.
Oh, I'm so glad GAM is done for the week. Holy
I can't handle another GAM game. I cannot handle it.
Oh no.
What is that, man? What is that?
Insane.
Vinnie, please tell us what happened in this game. I already forgot everything.
Oh, so first of
My
all,
head
you
hurts.
are completely wrong on the Legolas Gimli point. DO1 is clearly Gimli because look at the guy. He's tiny. I'm sorry, he has to be Gimli.
It's a fair point. That's a fair
Also,
point.
continuing the Lord of the Rings, that was basically if they went to the final battle of Minas Tirith and the Ghost Army was there from the word go. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, job's done. Go home, everybody.
All right, job done. Yeah, fair enough.
So, but that game was a lot of fun to watch. Seeing Deer and Kiaya just go nuts. As much as there are always those teams that in the past like kept winning, so you always want to hate them. It's so much fun watching players have fun.
Of course, yeah, I 100%.
That was beautiful.
Absolutely.
I 100% agree.
I don't know. As you've said a million times, I don't know what you're gonna analyze there. It's just, it was kind of just it was a stomp. But it was a fun
You
stomp.
can
Just
do some
running over them.
analysis for me. You need to pick an MVP for that third game.
Who got more
And-
kills between Deer and Levi?
Yeah.
DR.
That's-
DR. I think it was DR.
Okay.
Personally, I think.
But I actually think the MVP is still Levi.
Yeah,
I
I
feel like he
actually
played a cleaner game.
I agree.
Which is ridiculous to say because nothing about this game was clean, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those two. I think my vote goes to Levi, but it's interchangeable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
It's
get
like
along, Levi.
give it to Levi.
But player of the series was Slay. We've nominated Slay. We've picked Slay. He popped off as a support. He is so good.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at the stat lines from this series. Absolute insanity. Such a great performance. Also, game 2, they started off the game with a very cheese kill in the bot lane, even though they managed to lose that game. Great performance from the bot lane. And he had to play with an auto-filled ADC in the first game and didn't die. So
Yeah.
a lot of credit to Slay. One of the oldest and longest-standing members, still showing his skills on the Rift.
That he was. And that will be it for us today. This was an interesting day of games. I had a lot of fun, though. I hope you guys did too. It's been a long day. I'm very, very tired. But goddamn, I'm never upset staying up for some VCS. We hope you enjoyed it as well. We hope you do scroll down below the stream. There is a Discord link. You should click on it and join our community. We'd love to have you in the server. Come chat with us. Come talk about the teams. Come talk about the games before they happen. And while they're happening, of course. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. For some more VCS action. Good night, everyone.
Never thought I'd die fighting side by side with a one trick.